an email. I think it might be one of those free account things. I'm not sure.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to what should be a fantastic showdown. It is Team Alberta, Team BC, the under-18s, coming to you live from McLeod Park in Langley. Adam Forsyth on the call, joined by former Queens and UBC offensive lineman Gord Randall. Gord, we're in for a fantastic showdown tonight. Yeah, really looking forward to this. This game was originally scheduled for last July, and because of the general situation in the world these days. They had to reschedule it, and frankly, with the way things are going, that I think they're lucky they're getting it in tonight. So, really looking forward to this. I have never been involved in a football game this late in the year, and I'm going to guess most of these kids haven't either. So, some frigid temperatures tonight in Langley. It is currently -3. It definitely feels a little bit colder out there, but it is a clear night, so that is good. Tomorrow for the U16 and U17 games, there's maybe a little bit of potential of some snow in the forecast, but at least for tonight, clear conditions, and we should have some great football coming up in just a matter of minutes. And keep in mind, Adam, half of our audience is listening from Alberta. You're saying a frigid -3. They're probably laughing you out of the room right now. Absolutely, yes. That is true. I mean, we have the cold wave coming in BC next week. Our cold Christmas might get down to -10. That hasn't happened here in BC or in the Lower Mainland since 2013. So I hear you laughing all the way from Alberta, but that is cold. So maybe this might favor Team Alberta early on, but right now BC getting hyped up on the sidelines. A pretty good crowd tonight in attendance at McLeod Park as well. Yeah, for sure, especially given the frigid temperatures. We have always said that the equivalent temperature feels a lot colder on the West Coast, though it might just be that we're a little soft with it, but we shall see. Should be a really good one here tonight. I mean, I was involved with the BC high school football all-star game last weekend. A lot of the same guys playing here this weekend for the BC team. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they show out. Alberta always puts a strong product on the field, historically has gotten the better of a lot of these matchups. So it's always a tough test for BC transitioning, especially given that a lot of the players on the BC side are playing most of their ball with the American rule set in BC high school football. There's a little bit of a transition there, whereas the Alberta guys are going to be used to 12-man, 3 down, 1 yard off the ball, the type of ball that we're going to see tonight. So a little bit of an added element for BC to fight here, but it should be a really good one because there's a lot of talent, I know for sure, on this sideline, and I can assume on the other sideline as well. Further to your background, for the viewers, you're also the head coach of the Sullivan Heights football program here in the Lower Mainland in Surrey. So are any of these players on this Team BC roster people you are familiar with, anyone we should be keeping an eye on ahead of kickoff? I definitely, you saw the captains go out there, and one of the guys that I have played against and coached at that All-Star game, actually, number 67, Sebastian Sibbald, is a guy who's from Victoria, Mount Doug, 6'7", and he was telling me last week he's weighing about 345 pounds right now. He's only in grade 11, so he could play in this game again next year. So that's a guy to keep an eye on, and believe me, you're going to have a hard time missing him. That hits hard when it is the cold temperatures out here as well. So you're already seeing one of the unique wrinkles to this type of game because this is a showcase game. You're not going to see full special teams. So BC's won the toss here, and you're going to see them just take the ball right away here without a traditional kickoff to open this one up. Moments away from the opening snap again at McLeod Park in Langley as we are about to get underway. The under-18 showdown between Team Alberta and Team British Columbia. Expecting some big things here tonight. Again, clear temperatures, clear skies. It is currently -3, and it is a 7:09 first snap. Here we go. A short pass, a early reception, and a heavy hit about midfield.
Yeah, one of the first that I think I've ever seen, the starting quarterback for BC wearing number 47, Jovan Sanga, delivering the quick pass over the middle. That's number 88, Thomas Roberts, making the catch for BC, and a quick first down for the guys in orange out of the gate.
A good, strong first pass as well there.
Yeah, really snapped it in there. You know, a good first play call. It's a quick hitter pass. Doesn't give the rush a chance to get there, get the ball out, and get moving in the right direction.
So staying out of the shotgun again. Handoff. And finding some room on the outside. Again, about a 10-yard gain. A little bit further than that for number 6.
Yeah, Reggie Eli, the running back there, up the middle. You can see he got some good burst and a good hole from the offensive line up front. One of the things that is often a little bit of a disadvantage for BC is the Alberta team is usually able to outsize them on the front, but BC has them matched this year, and I'm really looking forward to that matchup up front.
2 plays into, we've seen a bit of a variety of plays, right? We saw the throw, we got the run out of the way, both solid gains.
Yeah, you will see in general a fairly vanilla offensive approach because these guys have only been working for about a week at it.
Sanga looking left and no, incomplete. A nice solid effort, decent throw, just couldn't quite haul it in.
What you just saw there, though, is that's one of those small details that is a tough transition from the American game to the Canadian game. One of the things that the Canadian game plays on is a wider field, and that field basically ends at the bottom of the nearby numbers here. So that throw that Sanga just had to make, which was to the wide side of the field, that's just a longer throw than he's ever going to have to make in Canadian ball, or in American ball, excuse me. So I think that he kind of underestimated how far that really was, and you see a little bit of an underthrow there, unfortunately.
All right, Sanga with the snap. Looking left. And connects on the outside. Tackled out of bounds. As number 19, Josh Burchak with the grab.
Little bit of a number change, actually. The number 19 is now Keyshawn Beswick.
Oh, there we
interesting note about Beswick. He's the son of Mark Beswick, a longtime former CFLer. Was a standout provincial all-star at Centennial High School in Coquitlam this year in the high school season as well. A lot of talent and a lot of pedigree for that young man.
Team BC moving down the field.
We got some American set here. Tight end wing on the near side.
It's a handoff. Strong play to the left side. We have a flag on the play, so we'll see if this stands. Possibly some holding.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a hold at the point of attack there, and there was some question from the Alberta staff on the previous play as to whether there was a hold, and sometimes when you make that point respectfully enough, you get a little bit of an itchier trigger finger on the next play. That may have been one of the factors there.
So it is a holding call on the offense. So that'll move him back.
Yeah, and 1st and 20, not the easiest in the Canadian game when you've only got the 3 potential plays to play with as opposed to 4 in the American game. I would suspect that you can just about time your watch to the BC squad passing here.
So setting up on the left hash, Marks, Sanga back in the gun. He is looking downfield. A nice reception. 30, 25, 20. Tackled on the left out-of-bounds line. A very nice reception as BC continues to move the ball downfield. Now just shy of the 20-yard line. We have a first down.
Really like the play call there from the BC side. You know with long yardage that you're going to get a looser secondary. The kids know that they have 20 yards to play with, so you're going to see a little bit more cushion. You just run your receivers up the field, have them sit down in a soft spot in the zone, and then see what they can make after the catch. That ball's caught at less than 10 yards downfield, but because of the soft zone, the amount of space there, he's able to turn that into 21-22 and a first down. Really like the strategy there from the BC side.
Just like that, BC pressing just outside of the red zone. Hand off to the left side, a cut in. He has the quarter in the end zone. Just out of bounds at about the 2-3 yard line. A very solid run by number 6, Reggie Eli.
So the BC side goes back to that kind of American football style set there. They compress the left side of the offense. You'll see a tight end and a wing back there. No wide receiver on that side, and then you get twin wide receivers to the other side. What that does is it forces the defense to adjust to kind of an unbalanced type of formation. A lot of defenses, especially in the Canadian game, you'd be surprised if somebody in orange lined up offside there. Again, not used to the yard off the ball. Could potentially be on both sides of the ball. There's no dead ball foul if it's on the offense, but that is exactly what happened, is somebody in orange lined up offside there. It looked like the defensive line was a little tight. And so Alberta gets another chance to convert here. And when you're an offensive coach, you always like to look a 2nd and 2 a heck of a lot better than you like 2nd and 7.
Absolutely. All right, team under Alberta getting set for the snap. A quick handoff, but BC bottles them up for potentially a loss of yards, maybe back to the line of scrimmage, but not much there for Team Alberta.
So you want to talk about a guy who thinks -3 is a joke. Cade Lebrecq, starting quarterback for Alberta, is from Grand Prairie. I looked today, and I believe Grand Prairie was a high of about -17 today.
So this is warm for him. This is shorts weather.
Yeah. So good swarm for the BC guys there, and it looks like Alberta's having to bring the punt team on the field here at 3rd and a long 1.
Bit of a high snap, but gets it away. A punt off the side of the foot and out of bounds, about the 47-yard line of Team BC. So BC has fairly good field position to start with 7:56 to go in the opening quarter.
Absolutely, yeah. An ideal start here for Team BC. You march down the field on your first drive, you're able to score, and then you get the stop on 2nd and short and force Alberta off the field after a 2 and out. Giving yourself really solid field position. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 45, gave them a couple extra there.
Yeah.
And so BC goes at it again here.
So this is ideal for quarterback Joe Vincenga here. He kind of pedaled to the metal. You already found the end zone in your first possession. You're taking over the second possession. Alberta didn't really accomplish much there. So now, what are you looking for if you're Team BC? Are you going to the air?
I would suspect they're going to start with it on the ground here again. Eli's not on the field. They've got Jesse Mitran, who also had a carry in that last drive, but you were successful on the ground early on. I think they might start with that here, though this is a passing set they're running right now.
Senga looking to the right, way downfield. Oh, almost picked off by Alberta. Solid coverage downfield. And a lengthy throw by Senga.
Good break on the ball. Number 1 there, Beck Robinson, coming from his safety spot. And those seam balls are a challenge to hit on that wider field and a challenge to cover as well, I should point out. And so that's a really good job by the safety there to break and get a hand on the ball. Thought he might have been able to catch that ball outright, but takes the safe play, prevents the big gain. Aggressive call for BC there, trying to go with a deep strike and keep the momentum going.
That was, and Robinson had a very good read on that play. All right, 2nd down. Senga shouting out the orders from the line. Drops back, looks left, down the sideline, and not able to haul it in is number 7. That is Matthew Gale out of Langley. So it is 3rd down for BC. On comes the punt team.
And that looked like one of those convenient underthrows on that sideline fade ball that actually threw the receiver open. Problem is, that's a really hard catch to make. You have to have exceptional body control to turn on a dime and bring that ball in. And Gale, unfortunately, not able to quite bring that in. So the punt team comes out, and you're going to see some beef at the punter position here for BC. I believe that's Travis Richley back to punt, who is an offensive defensive lineman by trade.
He's a big boy.
Provincial all-star offensive lineman in BC high school football this year.
Gets off the punt, end over end, angling towards the sidelines. And, we got some rough stuff on the sidelines.
Little surprised you didn't see any laundry come out on that.
Yeah, that was well off the field on that late tackle, almost thrown into a bit of a chain link fence here on the sidelines. But cooler heads prevail, and Alberta will take over on offense at about their own 30-yard line.
So Alberta needs to get some momentum going here, but they got a nice stop, kept BC from moving the ball, got it back quickly here.
.540 remaining in the opening quarter. Alberta trying to get something going after their first offensive possession led to a quick punt. We have a handoff up the right side. Pretty good gain on the first down.
A little jet sweep action there. That's number 6, Nolan Barragar, taking the jet sweep around. And this is one of the ways that you can diversify your rushing attack. You motion your halfback out of the backfield, Duncan Critch, number 3 there, the tailback for Alberta. Give BC a different look, get them going side to side on the wide fields, and you can see works out nicely for Alberta there, picking up about 8 on first down.
Second down, snap and another handoff, a great cut up field. And that will be a first down. A nice cut off that initial play to shake off the defender. And Alberta quickly moving up the field.
Really nice. That's an ideal inside zone look. When you're running inside zone to the left, if your tackle can collapse the backside and the defensive end doesn't squeeze it effectively, which is what the BC defensive end did there. He got upfield a little too much, left a crease. Critch with the perfect cutback, and he had a ton of running room once he got off the backside of that play. One of the things that the average viewer doesn't understand when you see zone run to the left, it looks like it's designed to go to the left. If you're calling it on an offense, you actually hit the biggest plays on that, hitting it backside.
That's exactly what they did. Alberta getting a couple of running backs into the play early. Here it is, first down play, a throw out to the left side, out towards the sidelines. Good for a couple of yards at a 17, Josh Dodds.
Flag came out late there, wondering if that may have been some late contact once they were out of bounds. See what the decision is here.
It is.
We got a face mask on the offense. So I'm guessing, based on when that came out, that was probably the receiver himself, maybe trying to get a little stiff arm in there and got a tug. Fortunately, our replay is getting a little bit choppy here, so it may not be easy to see.
But either way, it is moved back, so Alberta has some field position to make up here.
Yeah, where that came out, it's before he hit the first down marker, and they're actually BC's coaching staff can't quite decide what they want to do with this right now. I'm seeing a decline signal from the sideline. We'll see how it goes. I don't know why you would decline a 15-yard penalty. And because it came out at the end of the play, too, it's also going to be second down as well, according to the officials here. So I'm going to assume that the waving of the arms from the BC sideline was for something else.
Not much of a face mask there.
So typically when you get a call like that, it's you can see the fingers close on the grill and get that tug there. You see hand kind of pushing the side of the face. Typically that's not going to get called unless you see a clear tug there. So maybe a little bit of a fortunate call for the BC squad there. Backs Alberta up second and long.
Right in front of the Alberta coaches too, so I'm sure they cannot be too happy about that. The snap, he is looking, little dump pass off to number 3 who breaks the first tackle and picks up an extra couple of yards. Again, that's Duncan Critch, the running back.
Alberta looked like they were trying to run a little bit of a screen there. We do have a flag deep in the BC defensive backfield, so we'll see what happens there. Alberta was running their punt team on the field, just backed them back off. So this may be on the orange team. No, they're going to pick it up, actually.
Okay.
So tried to get a little slip screen out there to Critch, and clearly this is a guy that they want to revolve their attack around early here. A lot of wiggle, as the draft analyst would say, on Duncan Critch. And it just looked like they didn't quite get the bodies that they needed to in front of that one. I only saw one offensive lineman working downfield there, so I'm wondering if somebody maybe missed a call. Because typically you want to release at least 2 blockers if you're going to run a screen.
Punt team onto the field for Team Alberta. The snap, flags on the play, kick is off. A much better punt this time. Deep downfield. The returner is going to handle it and pretty much stopped where he grabbed that ball, the 34-yard line. But there is that flag on the play.
Again, would not be surprised if this is a Team BC member lining up offside, and look at that.
That is why you're the expert in this broadcast team, Mr. Randall.
Certainly the the well-paid amateur, I guess.
Yeah.
But because that was third and 1,000 yards, they're going to just decline it. Pretty good punt for Alberta. They snuff out the return, so BC starts a little bit deeper here inside their own 35. Alberta's probably satisfied with that result, given how they ended up going backwards on offense.
3:17 remaining in the opening quarter. Team BC still up 7-0.
So it looks like the teams are really starting to settle in here. BC kind of got the jump on Alberta early, but you're seeing more of a defensive battle as the players kind of get used to the schemes and the players against them on the opposite side.
Sanga taking the snap, a handoff. Up the gut, a little bit up the right side, a couple of yards there. Solid play by Team BC. We have a bit of a traveling contingent here. We heard some from the broadcast booth, some defense. So Team Alberta well represented here in Langley at McLeod Park.
Absolutely. I was following an Alberta plate on the way in here, and the highway connecting the interior of BC to the lower mainland, I think, just reopened a couple days ago. So fortunate for the Alberta contingent that they were able to get down here successfully for this.
Second down for BC after the handoff and a pickup of a couple of yards. Looking right, Sanga launching down the sidelines, coming back for the ball. A nice little catch by 82.
So I think, unfortunately, you're all for BC at least. You're going to get an offensive pass interference on that play. One of those kind of deliberate underthrows again on the sideline back shoulder fade ball. And the challenge with that as a receiver is that the natural momentum, if you're putting your foot in the ground, the DB is going to continue going in the same direction. Your hands are going to extend whether you really give them a push or not. And it looks like pass interference,
exactly
even if there's really not a lot there. And that's one of the challenges with throwing that particular ball, is that as a receiver, you have to be really smart and know that as you're putting your foot in the ground, get your hands off the DB as soon as you can. Because if the referees see that extension, you're going to get that call more often than not.
And we've seen that a couple times already in the opening quarter where Sanga is throwing to the guy coming back to the field. So it is a play that they're clearly keen in on.
For sure. When you're throwing that kind of ball, you're going to want to key on the boundary side, so the short side of the field. So you saw BC snap from the right hash there. They're wanting to throw that ball to the right side of the field because, again, heck of a long throw to the wide side of the field.
So second down for Team BC. Sanga again under center. Clean snap, looks right, throws to the sideline, and unable to make the catch is number 7, Matthew Gale for Team BC. That brings up third down, and the punt team is heading onto the field. 1:31 left in the opening quarter.
Excellent breakup there. I think that was number 25, Cameron Kahn, on the breakup there. And that's a great job by the DB to attack the ball at the point of attack. Really difficult play for the receiver to come down with that. Yeah, that is Cameron Kahn, number 25, with the play there. That's really good coverage. BC looked like they just wanted to try and get a chunk back there, gain some field position to kick.
Well, whistle before the snap.
I think I saw some movement on the front line for the BC punt team there. Looked like it was a little discombobulated right from the start. One guy was late onto the field as the gunner on the right side there, and then I thought, yeah, you're getting the signal there that there was a little bit of a flinch on the front line.
Usually a sign of things to come when it's kind of unorganized from the jump. That's what happens.
Also something that you see a fair bit of in some of these showcase games. These teams have only been practicing together for a week, basically. Some of the organizational stuff can tend to be a struggle because you just haven't had the amount of practice time that you need.
So punt, flag down, but Alberta has picked it up, running to the far side of the field. Good tackle by Team BC.
I'm guessing based on proximity there and when that flag came out, this is probably some sort of a blocking foul on the Alberta side. BC got fortunate there because their coverage team was well within the 5-yard no yards bubble, and then the ball rolled a little bit deeper before the return picked it up, created that 5-yard bubble for them again. So I don't think it's going to be no yards.
It is against Alberta.
Unnecessary roughness call. I did not see exactly what happened there as I was watching the ball.
Here's the replay of it.
Yeah, I still don't see what he saw there, but
no.
Not to say there wasn't something there, but I didn't see what he saw. So both teams kind of have it stuck in reverse here.
After that opening drive by Team BC, things have stalled just a touch.
Yeah, definitely slowed down a little bit. Again, like I said, something that's fairly normal for games like this as players kind of settle in. Be interesting to see what Alberta can do to try to make something on offense here. Looks like they've changed the quarterback. And I think having a tough time reading the number from back here, unfortunately. It looks like number 5, which is St. McKenzie.
He hands it off, but BC stuffing them at the line. But that is St. McKenzie under center for that play. Quarterback out of Calgary. But not much to gain there. So about 30 seconds left in the opening quarter. Let's see if they get another play away. Probably will get at least one.
Yep. Don't forget you're going to be able to snap it with a dead clock here. So you will get one more play here, and that'll likely be the last play of the first quarter. I'm guessing the plan for Alberta from the outset was to have quarterbacks alternate quarters, and this is because it was so close to the second, thus the change.
Second down, and there's definitely a lot of movement on there, and flags fly from every which direction, so we'll have to redo that. What do you think the effect is? This game was supposed to be in July, Gord, but now Christmas is a week away. It's the holidays. There's a lot going on. Like, does that play into the mindset? The wintry conditions. I mean, for Lower Mainland. Conditions.
I think it might have had the weather been a little bit more inclement than it is tonight. I mean, tonight's cold and clear. I don't think you can ask for a better evening for football, all things considered. So I don't think it's affecting it too much. But I will say, like, catching footballs when it's this cold outside, not fun. Not fun.
All right, second down for Team Alberta. And he is looking right. Nice grab by number 3 there. Again, that is Duncan Critch.
Yeah, Duncan Critch
He's been
again.
Very involved.
Yeah, looks to be one of the keys to the Alberta attack here tonight. And, definitely some athleticism on him there. Able to make some hay after the catch. And, you're so stuck when you're behind the sticks, right? That was a 2nd and 15 snap. What do you call? Everybody knows that you want to try and get to the sticks, but more often than not, you're going to want to try and dump something underneath, like BC did successfully on their first drive, and see if your guy can make up that yardage after the catch. Good coverage there by the BC guys, and I think that's an adjustment Alberta's going to maybe need to make, is that, again, the American style of ball, and I know that BC's defensive backs coach is a guy that coaches in the high school ranks here, so he's used to coaching 11-man ball. You're just not going to see as big of a cushion off the ball, even in long yardage, as you do in the Canadian game often.
So after the first quarter of play, it is Team BC 7, Team Alberta 0.
7.
Exactly. Sorry, apology.
Sorry, we're overcrediting the home squad here.
Yeah, exactly. And, but a pretty entertaining first quarter. Punt squad is out for Team Alberta as they switch ends of the field. Third down.
And to finish my thought on what I was saying with Alberta's strategy there, the flip side of that is maybe they can take advantage and put something over the top of the DC defensive backs as we got a short kick here.
Well, flag play, but a clean take by the BC returner.
Again, that came out before the return picked up the ball, so I'd expect that's some sort of a blocking infraction on BC here. Again, I didn't see it, but
It was on the
BC
far
will
side of the
have the
field.
ball. It's just a question of where this ball is going to be snapped from. It looks like they're pointing towards Alberta, which is interesting. Okay, so I guess that was an early no yards call, and I don't know how much of this is being picked up by our microphones, but the Alberta coaches are rightfully not particularly pleased about that over on the other end of the press box here. Because not only is a no yards call, which came out before the returner touched the ball. I don't know if the referee maybe thought, the guy on this sideline, that the returner caught the ball in the air. He absolutely did not. But no yards there's two types of no yards penalty. Once the ball hits the ground, it's a 5-yard penalty. They marked off 15 here, which means that it's being called not only no yards, but based on the ball being caught in the air, there's no way to sugarcoat that. That's a missed call. That's unfortunately no way to hide that. I feel like Tony Romo calling the Thanksgiving games right now. Like that's not a penalty. Did you watch that game?
On Thanksgiving?
Yeah, the middle game.
Absolutely, yep.
The one that had like 50 penalties between the two teams or something stupid like that. It was ridiculous.
Romo could not hide his disgust.
Yeah, I think that was the Cowboys game, and Mike McCarthy afterwards was like, what do you want me to say? Like, an NFL team took 18 penalties. Like, does that sound right to you?
As almost if you spoke that into existence. Another flag on the field.
Looks like, yeah, bit of a jump there by the BC offensive line, and so you got 1st and 15 right off the bat.
Snap to Senga. Fake handoff. Rolling to his right, looking downfield. And, couldn't quite haul it in.
And, yeah, it looks like he popped it out. Big hit. That's Beck Robinson again.
That's
the second big play that guy's made earlier this game. We got a flag in the BC backfield. It's going to be probably holding. I didn't see a hit on the quarterback there. That's either roughing the passer or holding territory. And it looks like I think we're going to get a hold here. With the pass breakup, I think Alberta might be tempted to decline this.
But checking the replay, another fantastic hit by Beck Robinson. He's been all over the field tonight.
Yeah, definitely an impressive showing early from number 1 in white.
It is holding because Alberta is declining.
And that's a no-brainer. As soon as that ball hits the turf, declining that penalty, you're going to have 2nd and 15 rather than back it up. I mean, it's going to be long yards if you back it up another 10, but it's also going to remain 1st down. So you might as well keep it at 2nd down. Now BC's got to pick up 15 in one play. Bit of a tall order.
So still 7-0 BC. Minute into the second quarter. 2nd and long. So we'll see what BC has dialed up to try and get into a 1st down situation.
Yeah, you got 2 backs in the backfield. I wonder if they might just try and get a chunk on the ground here and pin Alberta.
Spreads out left. Looking left. And couldn't quite haul it in. Again, that was one of those plays you were talking about earlier, it looks like, where, the other ones were going down the sideline, but where he had to come back to the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one where that ball is just coming out a little bit late, and I've seen this a couple times already today with Sanga trying to hit seam balls. I think part of this is he's not particularly used to the waggle, so he's not used to his receivers being able to take a run at the line of scrimmage, and I think they're just getting downfield a little bit faster than he's used to because we've now seen 2 seam balls that have just come out late, and what's happened is that the ball has either had to be underthrown or it's led the receiver into the safety. So Sanga, if he remains in the game here, is going to need to get that ball out a little quicker.
Wow. A bit of a wild snap, and as a result, the BC punting team not getting a lot of yards on the play, so pretty good field position to start for Team Alberta on this next possession.
Yeah, not an ideal showing for the BC punter there, and a nice break for Alberta as they get good, solid field position for basically the first time in this game here. So they're going to take over just short of midfield and have a chance to get the ball rolling and tie this one up.
Now let's see what their quarterback strategy is. As you mentioned, they were probably going to make some switches, so we'll see if it is number 5.
It's McKenzie again here.
So it is St. McKenzie out of Calgary. Takes the snap, looking to throw, finds his receiver. He's immediately bottled up, but a nice little play on the 1st down.
Like the play. Get a completion out of McKenzie here. You know, he's had a couple of them, these short underneath balls. You get your quarterback feeling good. Maybe get that first chain turned over, get that first down so you can feel like you're rolling a little bit and then start to open it up a little bit more.
That was number 88, Carter Kettle from Grovedale, Alberta, on the reception. Second down. Throwing to his right in another reception, and I believe that is Kettle again. So back-to-back receptions for the wide receiver.
And so Alberta is finding some seams in the BC zones right here. They've hit that same passing zone 2 plays in a row here. Mid-game, kind of short of the deep zones, and then just past that linebacker level of zone, finding the soft spots there. BC may have to switch up their coverage tactic here to shut that one down.
First down for Alberta, again looking to the right side, and another reception. And another nice little pickup by Team Alberta as they are quickly moving down the field early in the second quarter.
May have caught a bit of a break there, too. It looked very close to his knee being down when he caught the ball, which should have been down by contact and absolutely should have been. So a little bit of a break there for Alberta, but mixing things up. And again, the quick passing approach, get the ball out of McKenzie's hands, get some chunks on first down. Looks like it's working so far in this drive for Alberta.
Second down, snap, and a handoff up the gut. And it is very close to first down territory. Let's see what the refs rule here.
And this is what you can do if you're able to consistently get those chunks of 6-7 on first down out of easy plays, right? So you throw a quick screen to the receiver to the right side there. That's easy money. Yeah, that's... I thought they had the first down there. So, see, that's smart play-by-play there. You hedged and said it was close to the first down marker.
Yeah, the ref's not giving it to them. So Alberta has a big decision to make. It is 3rd and inches.
I would say that was probably about a half a yard short, that spot of where I thought he got to.
And you know what? The Alberta coaches up here in the booth agree.
Yeah, most certainly.
And there we go.
Love that. That's really well-designed short yardage. Alberta spreads their receivers out as the BC defense is moving and adjusting to it. Quarterback runs up under center, takes the quick snap. BC wasn't even ready for that ball to be snapped.
It's not just because the jerseys are kind of similar, but that was very Josh Allen-esque out of Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
And then McKenzie just powering through.
Probably almost a foot shorter than Josh Allen, but...
Yes.
So we've seen this set a couple times from Alberta this time out. 2 backs in the backfield, max protection for both backs.
And that's exactly what they got. And they find the receiver on the left side. He has a corner. He's knocked out of bounds just past the 10-yard line. Nice play. Nice throw by St. McKenzie.
So clever for Alberta here. BC is not adjusting to this max protection scheme very much here. And despite the fact that Alberta is only running 4 receivers out of that set, they're finding the soft spots in the zone. BC DB looked like he had a decent break on it, just missed the knockdown, and now Alberta's knocking on the door.
And you called it there with that protection. That's what he got. It gave him that extra 2 seconds to find this guy on the outside. And now they are knocking on the end zone for the first time tonight. Flags on the play. McKenzie rolling out to the end zone, trying to find the back of the corner, and it is broken up, but there are flags down.
And interesting to see that one of the few flaws in this facility, which is a fantastic facility, is that the light coverage in the back half of the end zone isn't great. So you see the ball go up there, and it kind of gets lost into the abyss, and you have to see what happens at the end of the day.
Not great is being polite, yep.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be, it is. Another offside against the BC defensive line. Again, a fairly common thing in these matchups because the BC guys are not used to lining up the yard off the ball. You get in deep especially, and you want to be as close to the ball as possible. It's a little bit more difficult to make sure that you give that full yard because it just feels like you're giving up too much space.
Well, this is Alberta's first time in the red zone tonight as well, so BC's feeling the pressure. A quick toss outside, and BC brings them down for a loss.
Alberta tried to run tempo there again. I think they were trying to make it look like their short yardage play from the previous set. they were running something different, but right from the get-go, like there should be an Alberta penalty here that never was thrown because Alberta never had a receiver on this side. They couldn't figure out who was supposed to be on the line. So they got away with that, but that being said, they end up getting tackled for a loss in the backfield. So, and there's a name that you've heard a couple times already tonight. You heard again there, number 77, Malcolm Fraser for BC. I expected as much, but he's been a bowling ball for the guys in orange so far tonight.
Second down. And he is scrambling as BC closes in. He launches to the left corner of the end zone. It is a jump ball, and BC comes away with the interception. They are looking to run it back. There is a flag down in the end zone, another flag thrown as well. BC running it back about to the 15. We'll see what these flags are.
Now, I know if you are on offense and you take a foul in your own end zone, it's a safety. I would assume in that I don't know how you would mark that in that situation because that foul was a blocking foul on BC, the first flag at least, in their own end zone.
They're definitely two separate fouls based on how far apart those flags came in.
Now, heck of a play there by the DB. Luca Ponte, it looked like, who made that play, number 86. And as McKenzie tried to extend that play, he just stayed in phase. He was right in the back pocket of the receiver as scramble drill began. It was a good job from the BC front to try and recover and make sure McKenzie couldn't scramble. So I think the way that this is going to be enforced is that BC's basically going to be stuck snapping the ball from their own 1 yard line here. But let's just wait to see where they line it up. BC's offense certainly looks like they're expecting to snap this pretty deep. And I do believe you're going to see the other quarterback for BC come out here too. That's Quinn Newcomb from up in Prince George. So another guy who probably thinks that you're hilarious for saying it's a frigid -3 out here right now. Now, Prince George is a cool little pocket of football in this province, and one guy who's a prominent name up there is a name that Albertans may well recognize. Keon Raymond, the longtime Calgary Stampeder, has settled in Prince George, and I don't know the full connection there, so don't ask. But he's settled in Prince George, and he's become a really big advocate for football growth in that community, and there's a nice little pocket. Unfortunately, they're so far removed from the rest of the province, they kind of just have to play amongst themselves most of the time. But there are... between Prince George and Quesnel down the road, there are, I think, 5 high schools playing football up there. So a nice pocket in BC's north. It's a developing football community.
All right, BC with the first down, a handoff, and nice little pickup.
That's South Delta's Jesse Mitron.
That at least gives them a little bit of breathing room coming out of the zone for their second down play. But nice little pickup there.
Definitely, and this has been that's what you don't want as a defense, right? You've got the offense backed up against their own goal line. You don't want them to feel like they have breathing room, and so mission accomplished for BC there as they were able to hand the ball off, and now they're back at the 15-yard line feeling like they can run their whole playbook, plus having second and short to boot.
So Newcomb under center. It is second down.
Here's that collapsed right edge again. Run formation thus far for BC.
Just avoids that. Sack gets the handoff away. A cutback, but maybe 1-2 yards at most.
Really nice job there by the quarterback, Newcomb. Bobbled the snap right off the hop, and what I think was originally supposed to be a handoff, he ends up having to turn into a toss because of the bobble, but great job by him to make sure he gets the ball out to his running back, turns that into a positive play anyway.
It gets the first down out of it.
Yep. So be interesting to see. BC has run that collapsed side set with the tight end wing. They've run that 3 times so far. It's been a run every time. Is that a tell, or is that something that they've got another counter punch to run out of?
We'll find out shortly. 6:20 remaining in the second quarter. BC still up 7-0. First down from just shy of their own 20-yard line.
Here's that set again.
It looks like we had a bit of a movement on the line.
And same play here.
And he breaks a couple of tackles. There is a late flag down, but another nice little run there.
Little surprised that that flag came out late there as opposed to the beginning of the play. It looked like there was a lot of movement on the defensive line. Obviously, Alberta's front was able to get back before the ball was snapped. And again, a little bit of an adjustment for the BC guys, because in American ball, somebody jumps offside like Alberta did just there. They don't have the neutral zone to play with. They cross the ball. That play is going to be blown dead. Here, if they jump into the neutral zone, they're okay to get back unless you snap the ball while they're in the neutral zone. BC center, not going to know that, doesn't snap the ball while they're in the neutral zone. So, observation again, BC ran that collapse side. Every time they've run that, they've run a run play towards the tight end wing side. Be interesting to see if Alberta picks up on that and starts swarming that play and what BC has as a counter. But you can see the difference in styles between the two offenses, because the Alberta offense, coming from an area where they're used to playing Canadian ball, you see a lot more movement from the backs. You'll see backs coming in and out of the backfield a lot more. BC, you're seeing minimal waggle. It's a lot more static, and that's purely just a result of that's the type of game that they're used to playing. So look at the receivers on the near side here. You're going to see a straight run from the slot and no other movement.
See if Gord's prediction comes true. First down, BC. Looks the handoff, and a throw to the outside, and bobbled and dropped.
So what was I saying on the previous play? They collapse that side. They've run towards it every time. What's their counter punch going to be? You saw it right there. They run it out of that formation. They run a little two-man, just a smash concept. So smash concept, you'll see the receiver come out and stop in a hitch. You'll see the slot work out into a corner there. They throw the corner.
It was a pretty decent throw, just unfortunate.
Really good job to hit
Gale.
that gap, and he just didn't quite come down with it. So it's Matthew Gale again, and he's had a tough time coming down with a couple tonight. Some tough catches in traffic earlier on. That one's one that he would probably tell you that he should have had. So after the hold on the previous play, which was that late flag that came in, BC now backed right up against their uprights, and second and long here. This is another thing that you would approach differently in the Canadian game, and it looks like they've taken too long here.
Yep.
This is another situation that you would approach differently in the Canadian game than the American game. The American game, you're not necessarily thinking safety. In the Canadian game, if you're not getting at least, I would say at least 10 yards on this play now, you're thinking safety, I would think.
Right. Well, we'll see what they come up with here, as they are backed up against their own end zone. Second and long. Newcomb gets the snap. Looks to throw, and he is running, stumbles, fumble. There's a fumble on the play, and Alberta has, it looks like Alberta has recovered. They
Absolutely.
have. Newcomb trying to escape traffic and fumbles deep in his own zone. Alberta walking away with the ball.
I think that was number 21, Mason Lane, for Alberta, forcing that fumble. But really, that's just Newcomb just not taking great care of the ball there. You can see the ball out from his body. 22, Adam Kucinski causing that. Newcomb, you just saw him holding the ball a little bit out from his body there. And it's too bad, because I was about to praise him. He did a really good job of seeing the rush, extending that play, finding a seam, looking downfield again. Unfortunately, he just didn't get the ball out.
And just like that, Alberta in the red zone, the snap, it's a handoff out the left side. Nice little spin, tackled down at the 1.
Nice little counter play, and I liked what the back did there to hit up inside of his lead blockers. I believe that's number 6.
That was Nolan Berringer.
Yeah, Nolan Berringer from Red Deer. So you can see here. Oh, we're a couple plays back here. This is the second down play. Never mind. So Alberta knocking on the doorstep here. Same short yardage
Second
set.
down. Drives and
Good push.
breaks through. Touchdown, Alberta. Nice little surge there up the gut, and we are an extra point away from having this thing tied at 7s with 4:26 left in the second quarter.
So you see that same short yardage scheme from Alberta. They spread things out. The quarterback runs up under center. They snap it quick, but the push from the Alberta front there, it looked like it would have been touch and go whether he get in. It's Lebrecht back out there at quarterback again. But look at that push. 65, the right tackle. Carter Remillard keeps moving his feet, drives his man about 3 yards deep in the end zone, and that becomes an easy score for Alberta as they tie this one up.
And just like that, right, it's a simple fumble, and there's points on the board. So Alberta was looking for that break to get things going, and they got it thanks to that deep fumble. And just like that, we're tied up, 7-7.
Yep, absolutely. And, Alberta has not really sustained drives thus far tonight. So for BC to spot them one within their own zone to give them some momentum, not ideal for you. So BC would like to have a counterpunch here. Newcomb didn't really get a great shake having to take over so deep into his own zone last time out. So be interested to see what he can do with the full offensive playbook at his disposal this time out.
So BC looking for a better offensive drive, obviously better field position to start here. Handoff play out to the right. Bit of a gap. There is a flag down on the play as he is tackled out of bounds. That's where
and we got another flag come out late here. The first flag I'm almost certain was going to be a blocking infraction of some sort on BC. The late one, based on the reaction from the Alberta coaches in the booth here, may be an even-up call, but the referee's pointing back, so I think that this is going to back BC up.
It's becoming a bit of an issue for BC. They're getting into a lot of penalty trouble early in this game.
Absolutely, yeah. Interesting. So the flag that came out late either was the same infraction and he just took a little bit to get it out of his pocket, or they decided it wasn't a penalty after all, but going to be a hold on BC, and that's going to take him back. It's too bad because Eli had a really nice run off the right side edge there, and the hold, to be honest with you, was not necessary. He was past it when the hold occurred. So BC's going to have to try and clean things up a little bit here.
So first down BC. The snap. Looking to his left, finds his receiver, who stays in bounds and finds a few extra yards. Nice little pickup there.
It's 88, Thomas Roberts, North Vancouver native, and I like the speed movement combo that Roberts brings to the table here. A guy that looks like he could profile as a nice slot guy in the Canadian game with that little bit of extra size. Maybe be a guy you can motion into the box, play as an H-back type as well. Not something BC is used to particularly. Again, American ball versus Canadian ball, but a guy that I think maybe has some next level potential with that kind of frame that he's got.
Second down for BC. The snap. Again, looking left, deep downfield. Finds his man. What a catch. He is gone. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, BC.
That was a dime. So we were talking about Sanga struggling to throw that ball down the sideline, back shouldering a lot. 74 yards for the score, and Newcomb put that one right on the money. And frankly, it looked like Alberta's DB wasn't expecting that ball to go as deep. He gets it just over the outside shoulder of the DB, hits his man in stride. Look at the difference between this and some of the earlier fade balls we saw. The receiver's just at a straight run, never has to break stride.
That was put on a dime. That was a perfect throw.
Right on the money.
And he is gone. Just like that, out of nowhere, BC retaking the lead, an extra point away from making this a 14-7 game. 2:40 left in the second quarter. Kick is up. It is good. And Team BC leading 14-7.
Big momentum swing there, and all of a sudden this one's starting to get a little bit more interesting. A few big momentum swings both ways here, and BC back on top after the big play.
74 yards. Very impressive. An absolute strike. Showing off his arm strength there.
Yeah, very much so. And the arm strength for neither of these guys, I don't think, is a question, but it's the placement. It's knowing where you want to put that ball and being able to put it there. And Newcomb did a fantastic job. I can't tell you how impressed I was with that throw. It was interesting, too, because Alberta showed blitz there, dropped out of it. I think BC was running that play expecting heat and less coverage. Alberta dropped into coverage, and they were able to complete it anyway.
So Alberta gets the ball back. First snap, first down. A lot of pressure, and they bring him down.
So Lebrecht back in there, but he's pressured right away. Number 34 coming up with the sack there, Grayson Statham. He's got it come down from Vernon, another interior guy. And, Alberta this has been a story for them early on. They have had to have extra blockers in on protection for them to be successful holding off the BC front thus far in a lot of cases. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue to use that tool more, because you just had 5-man protection there, and it did not work out well for them.
Second down, snap, fake handoff, and then goes back against the grain, cuts up field, big yardage.
So this is a blitz beater, great play call there. I think you're going to get a block in the back late on this play. And I'll be honest, I'm biased. I'm an offensive lineman myself. It's going to be called a number 62. I can see what the referee saw. It's not a block in the back. He's attacking the player from the front. The player turns his back to try and avoid him, and he blocks him anyway. He's working directly vertical. That's not a block in the back. It's not a great call. Again, I'm not sure how much of the field you guys can pick up, but if you were able to hear it, that was the sound of the Alberta coaches agreeing with my take on that particular call. The ball carrier was number 3.
Yeah, Duncan Critch with that play.
So they've tried to run that play a couple times. They actually got the 2 blockers out in front of it, and it worked out a lot better when they had both blockers. Imagine that.
Yes. There we go. Snap. Fake handoff. Rolling out to his left. Finds some room up the sidelines and is hammered out of bounds. Oh, and he is hurt. Flag is down.
So hit was right along the sideline there. It's tough to see whether he was still in bounds when that hit began or not.
Very
it was certainly close.
It was a big hit.
A little bit of Kenny Pickett in that takeoff from the Breck there as he looked like he was pulling up to throw, and then he changed his mind and went again. If he's in bounds, I got to be honest, it's tough when you see a kid get hurt. If he's in bounds, that did look like a clean hit to me. We'll have to wait and see whether he was still in bounds, but it's shoulder to shoulder. It's a tough hit.
Well, the training staff is over with him right now. The play itself was very nice. He found a seam up that sidelines, and he was flying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very unfortunate. So the training staff looking over right now. The referee flag has come in. We haven't got a signal on what they will be calling or if they've picked it up.
I would say that you can safely bet that that's probably going to be a late hit. Now, the guy making the hit there, it's Alexander Gagnon. He was the BC High School defensive MVP this season. He is a very hard hitter. Lebrecht's still in a little bit of pain on the sideline here. He is moving everything all right.
Yeah, his hand's on his face. His training staff's working with him. Team Alberta, most of the team gathering at center. And it looks like they're
going to get him up here.
So sigh of relief for Team Alberta and all involved. Looks like he's grabbing at his back. He is getting walked off the field. And yeah, they're not going to make him walk across the field. So they're just going to bring him off through the BC sideline here.
So that's one of those, I'm guessing based on the way they were looking at him and the way he's reacting, it's at best the wind knocked out of him. At worst, maybe something in the torso, a broken rib, something like that. When it's this cold outside, those can feel pretty similar at first. So hopefully it's just the wind knocked out of him. We can see him in the second half. But we're not going to see him again in the first half. So you will see likely St. Mackenzie come back in here for the Alberta team. Now, we saw the flag come out. I didn't see any yardage marked off after the play there.
I didn't as well.
So I guess there was no flag? No, it looks like they marked off 5 yards after where he was knocked out of bounds. Anyway,
regardless, we are back. 2 minutes left in the opening half. Alberta with the snap.
There's that same play again. That throwback screen.
To Duncan Critch again, picking up some more yardage. right at the line, very close to a first down marker, maybe just a touch short. But again, yeah, that is a play we've seen over and over again.
It's a nice little play design. I think they've gone to the well on it a few times here. Now I think they may need to commit to one of those rollout passing plays to kind of even up the secondary. It's doing a good job of pulling the defensive line rush in and getting it over their heads, but Gagnon, the linebacker, really sniffed that one out. I think he's seen it one too many times here.
Second down for Alberta. Again, a handoff to Cade. And he finds a gap, and he has now picked up the first down. Duncan Critch.
Yeah. Nice little counter there, called a GT counter. You pull a guard and tackle from the opposite side, and a really good job, 60 and 58, the lead blockers there. That's Xavier Buchert and Jacob Patterson. Buchert in particular, a nice kick out there out of the hat, Medicine Hat.
Now we have another Team Alberta player down. So the training staff onto the field to look at him right now.
That's Critch, unfortunately.
He's having a great game so far. Looks like he's kind of grabbing at his leg, maybe. See the replay of it, and
looks like he grabs at his hamstring when he hits the turf there.
Now he is getting up, walking off under his own power, so that's great to see.
That may just be I've been doing a lot in this first half and I am tired type of injury. Not that he would consciously do that, but sometimes your body just kind of barks at you and goes, hey, man.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit too much.
Yeah. Let's take a TV timeout.
Don't we know as we start getting older, right?
So he makes his way to the sidelines. He will not be involved in this next play. $1:42 left in the opening half, 14-7.
And I should point out, if you're watching from home and you're worried about Cade Lebrecq, he is walking around in sidelines, so does not appear to be in major distress, though he is most definitely done for the half, having gone to the locker room now.
And just before the snap, we have a team timeout called by Team Alberta.
Yeah,
Nice play, though, because they were set up at the left hash mark, so going all the way across the field. That is a long throw.
It is a long throw. That's a tough throw. It was Antonio Conte in coverage for BC there. Young man out of Notre Dame.
Alberta with the snap. And BC with the sack. You were just saying about not wanting to lose yards this close to the end zone in terms of kicking.
Yeah, negative yardage plays that's really not what you want there. And there's Gagnon again, that defensive MVP from BC High School ball. They bring some extra guys there. He comes from his inside linebacker spot. They roll the coverage, and BC just overloads the backside of that protection. But one of the real nice plays there was on the front side of that. Number 97, Logan Ricks, a kid I actually happen to coach. Looks like he can press the front side, stops the quarterback from rolling out properly there, pushed him back into the pressure.
So third down for Alberta. Clock running, $1:20 left in the opening half.
So now you're in a situation for Alberta. Yeah, and BC looks like they're expecting a field goal here. Oh, no, Alberta's bringing out the punt team. Okay. Not quite sure why you would punt in this situation.
Punting towards the left corner of the end zone, dropping at about the 2-3 yard line, and a great punt. Why would they punt in that situation?
Well, the thinking in that situation, and again, a minute plus left is a lot of time in the Canadian game. The thinking in that situation is that a minute isn't a lot of time if you have to drive 104 yards, 106 yards, whatever it's going to end up being. So you execute that punt play, which they did to perfection, basically. BC now has a lot of real estate to cover to even be able to add 3 before the half here. So that's the thinking. But I know for me as a coach in that situation, I would be thinking, look, like, I want points before the half here. I'm not thinking about whether the other team's getting points. I'm going to think about myself going to get points and taking advantage of the opportunity I have and trusting my defense is going to stop them with a minute left. But
all right,
different ways to skin a cat.
First down. Newcomb, a step inside his own end zone, takes the snap, throws up a moonshot down the right sideline. No catch, but a flag on the play.
So you're going to get a pass interference on number 20 here. Ben Morrison, he just, the ball's in the air. He turns and finds the receiver, and he goes and plays and bumps him. It's not a lot, but that is a foul. He's going to find the man. He knocks him off his lane, prevents the receiver from potentially catching the ball. BC gets a bailout call pinned in deep, but I do think that one was a legitimate call, as much as, again, if you're picking up the audio from the rest of the press box here, the Alberta coaching staff very much did not agree with that assessment. A lot of flags in this
opening half. The opening of the intended target on that one was number 87, Anthony Amena out of Burnaby. But
same type of throw there from Newcomb, right? And he put it right on the money again.
Yeah. He's definitely been picking his spots, and he's been dropping them in. Do you expect to see more of that? With under a minute left in the opening half, they're still deep in their own zone.
Yeah, you're going to have to see something here. Now, don't think that he has to stick it to the sidelines. If you're moving sticks, you'll get that clock stopping. You can definitely work the middle of the field if you need to.
And that's what he's doing as he tries to escape trouble, sprinting to the sideline to stop the clock.
So that late tackle he shook on his way out of the box there is a really big swing, because that was going to be a very positive play for Alberta if they were able to get him down in bounds there just a couple yards downfield. Instead, he's able to just shake the tackle attempt there and get himself out of bounds. 45 seconds left now.
Second and short.
They've still got their timeout, their 2 timeouts left, although it looks like they've just taken one. So that was a timeout signaled, right?
It looks like they've called a timeout.
Okay, and nobody went on the field. That's why I was a little bit confused there. That's not particularly ideal on the BC sideline. You've gotten out of bounds. The clock has stopped.
I was distracted if you didn't see 67 there, Sebastian Sibbald. He was doing a little dance routine out there on the field for us.
Yeah.
Keeping us entertained during the timeout.
Yeah. He thinks he can dance, but he doesn't.
Yes. So here we go. BC, second down, 45 seconds left in the half.
It's actually just how we stay warm out here on the West Coast.
Yes.
So this is a run set. Looks like they just want to turn the sticks over here.
Quarterback throws it out, and they're going the other side of the field, and Alberta balls them up for going
Great
to be a
play.
loss.
Brady Cook, defensive end out of St. Albert, he just powered right up field there. He saw that run set and thought, you know what? They've run the ball towards my side most of the times they've been out of this set. He just drives his man right back into the backfield, makes the play. That play was doomed from the start. That's a superlative play by 56 there.
Yeah, Jesse Mutran had nowhere to go. He was going to be caught pretty quickly, and he was. So
yeah. So BC played it pretty safe by just handing the ball off and trying to convert the first down. It blew up in their face there. So now they're in a position where Alberta's got a chance. They've used their timeout here. They've got 38 seconds on a dead clock. BC's going to have to punt. And remember, last time BC punted, only netted about 15 yards as it went off the side of the foot. So BC's going to need a little bit more leg out of this. And Alberta's in a good position to close this gap before the half.
So punt team on the field. And as Gord just mentioned, that last punt was not a success, so let's see if they can get better yardage out of this one. The snap on third down. And we have some movement, and the flags fly.
So who moved first is an interesting question, because the offensive left tackle did move, but I thought he may have been contacted by the defensive guy first.
And
I'm going to guess that should go on the offense, and it is going to go on the offense. They moved simultaneously there, so that should be called on the offense, and it was. Again, in the American game, any offensive lineman moving can start the play and cause the defensive lineman to be offside. In the Canadian game, the ball has to be snapped. Otherwise, it's going to be an offensive penalty. That's an offensive penalty.
So pushing back a couple of yards. There's the snap. Punt away. It's blocked. The punt is blocked. And Alberta has recovered.
Pressure right up the gut there. It was number 24 getting his paws on it. Logan Wells.
What a play.
Out of Medicine Hat.
And that goes to show you the backing it up the 5 yards. Every yard counts because.
Well, and for BC, like, sour taste in your mouth. Alberta overloads the A gap here, and
just
man.
right up the gut. What a play by 24.
So when you're a shield guy, you want to protect, you want to prioritize the puncher's kick side. What BC's shield guys, the second level of blockers there, they got sucked into moving to the left, which is away from the puncher's kick side. They opened a gap up right in the A gap, right on the puncher's foot. That's as ideal of a block situation as possible for the defense.
And just like that, we are tied at 14-14 with 30 seconds left in the half.
And what you saw there was a well-managed end of the half by Alberta and not a particularly well-managed or executed latter part of the half for BC.
And we look back even just a few minutes ago where we were kind of wondering why Alberta chose to punt on the last possession and pin BC so deep. And a few plays later, it turns to 7 points.
Yeah. I mean, that sequence, full credit, right? That sequence played out as well as it possibly could for Alberta and, turned into something that swung this into a tie game with 30 seconds left in the half here.
So Logan Wells with the block, Alberta with the touchdown. All of a sudden we have a tie football game. BC getting the ball back with 30 seconds left in the half, seeing if they can do something quickly marching down the field.
BC still does have a timeout. For Alberta, I think the big thing, you really want to get a stop here on the first play, because if BC feels like they've started to get rolling, they may turn this into score mode.
Aiming
and there
left.
It is. Right into center field.
Intercepted by Alberta.
That was what is sometimes termed an arm punt. The difference is that arm punts you typically want on second and long. That one was an arm punt on 1st and 10, and that's about as easy of an interception as Beck Robinson's going to come down with.
Now, quite the interception by Team Alberta. There wasn't a lot of BC targets in that area. I don't know if he was he aiming to that far left side?
Well, and this is, I think that what you may have seen there was maybe a little bit of a youthful mistake there, just trying to go for too much on one play.
30 seconds left in the half. I want to take my
knowing
shot.
that you need chunks, but a good chunk, you still have 30 seconds left. A good chunk can be 15 yards there. It doesn't have to be 30.
Alberta taking a shot of its own here on their first play and intercepted. Right going the other way. BC has the ball, returning it, and they have some blockers down the right sideline here. Now the 30, the 20, using some blocking, and Alberta's finally able to take him down at the about 15-yard line, but a huge play by BC.
Number
so interception
56.
one way, interception the other.
Number 56, Sawyer Tether from Chilliwack coming down with that. And what was I just saying on the last play? Youthful mistake, trying to push it too far downfield. That was a very low percentage play from the Alberta quarterback, McKenzie there. There was one receiver there. There was 3 guys in the secondary. Again, you can hear the Alberta coaches on the other side of this booth. As soon as that ball's in the air, they're going, why did he throw that?
That was actually St. McKenzie who made the tackle that probably saved a touchdown there as well.
Yeah. So momentum swings left and right, and all of a sudden, we basically got one play left here. Is BC going to risk kicking this? They've had their kicking adventures so far. Looks like they are.
So here we go. A bit of a...
And hey, it's a one-play situation. There's 4 seconds on the clock. So you're either running your best play to try and get this in the end zone, or you're trying to take the points. BC hasn't kicked anything other than an extra point yet today.
This is our first field
goal
attempt
try
of the
and take
game
point
from either side. 4 seconds on the clock. 14's on the board for both sides. The snap and to take the lead into halftime. The kick is up.
Looked like someone got a finger on that, but it goes through
good.
Anyway. Thought I saw a little bit of a deflection just off the foot there, but it sails through. And for some reason, the clock didn't start there in stadium. Okay, referee is going to call a half. Referee is going to call the half here. So
there we go.
BC turns that late turnover into 3 points to take the halftime lead here. And Adam, what a second quarter.
That was. It was, the first quarter we kind of saw the teams feeling each other out. Like you said, they haven't played a lot of football with each other. And so it was not to say sloppy, but, feeling each other out. And then all of a sudden this whirlwind of the last 5 minutes of the second quarter, that was some great football. And back and forth, and just like that, 2 interceptions, a blocked punt for a touchdown, and BC leads 17-14 at halftime.
Yeah, very eventful first half. You had big plays, you had turnovers, you had mistakes. I mean, this is why amateur football in some ways is more fun than watching pro football these days, is there's that element of chaos that comes from it not quite being perfect. And so if you are good enough to be able to string plays together and stuff like that, but you're not good enough to play almost mistake-free football, which is the reality with pretty much every level short of the NFL, that turns into fun. And we saw some real fun in that second quarter.
It was good, and a lot of talent on display, which is why these are the best, the Team BC and Team Alberta, and very entertaining half of football. Hopefully that last 5 minutes of the second quarter is a preview of what's to come in quarter 3 and quarter 4.
Shoot. 2-1-1. No, because you're only technically according to
Welcome back for second half action at Langley's McLeod Park. Team Alberta versus Team BC, the under-18 showcase. A very entertaining game so far. BC leading 17-14. I'm Adam Forsyth, joined by former Queens and UBC offensive lineman Gord Randall. And we have our first play to start the third quarter. Alberta breaking one out on the right side, and first play, first down. Gord, you had some injury news for us from the first half.
Well, you already saw that Kay Levesque is back in the Lebrec, is back in the game. Word is from the Alberta staff that was a hip injury for him that was aggravated there. He is back in the game and good to go. We do see him on the sideline right now. Duncan Critch, number 3. He's not in the game, but he appears that he will be able to participate in the second half as well. So Alberta should be fully good to go here.
Here's a snap on a first down, cutting outside. And another big gain. That should be good for a first down. So back-to-back first downs for Team Alberta to start the second half.
Yeah, big washout from the right tackle on that front side there. Didn't quite get the anchor on the front side defensive end for BC, and a nice job by the right tackle, number 62 there, Bennett Salmon, with the kick out.
Big news for Alberta getting number 10, Cade Lebrecq back at quarterback, because that was a nasty-looking hit he took along the sidelines in the second quarter.
It was tough kid, Prairie tough.
And here he is, throwing to the outside. We do have a flag on the play and a drop. Pass intended for Ethan Mackey out of St. Albert.
And Mackey had a fairly active first half, a couple of touches there, probably an uncharacteristic drop for him. And look at this, BC lined up offside again. Speaking of penalties. Penalty numbers from the first half, fairly high. Team BC alone, 13 penalties for 100 yards. Alberta, 5 for 65, 165 yards of penalties. I referenced that Thanksgiving game from NFL Thursday. This has very much shades of that here. Hopefully a little cleaner here in the second half.
All right, Alberta, first down from about midfield, just past midfield. The handoff up the gut. Good for a couple of yards, forward progress. Yeah, you kind of hinted or indicated earlier that because these teams, they didn't have a lot of practice time. This game was supposed to be held in July, so is that maybe one of the reasons we're seeing all these offsides, all these penalties?
The time of year, I'm not sure as much. This probably would have been similar circumstances had they played in the summer, maybe a little bit more practice time. Most of these players are just coming off of their high school season ending a couple of weeks ago, so very limited preparation time for this, and you're seeing some of the effects of that out here for sure.
All right, here we go with the second down. And a big sack by BC.
That's number 3 for BC, and since you're getting the play-by-play number money, I'm going to let you pronounce that name for me.
It is, first name is all name team. It's Juan Cash. Last name, Valley de Lare.
It's a good effort. Good.
Yeah. It's pretty good effort.
I would have gone Valley Desjardins. I think I would have.
Desjardins,
yeah.
So,
If
but Juan Cash,
yeah.
phenomenal name. I'm just going to shorten it up, but either
There
way,
you
that was
go.
a phenomenal play.
We'll just say
And
Cash.
It brings out the Alberta punt unit. Bit of a low snap, so he gets it off down the right side, landing at about the 25, bounces at the 20, and the kick returner, a little bit of a stumble there.
Turf Monster's out in full go today. Thought I saw a sniper up in the stands there. Man down. That sack there on second down, a continuation of a theme thus far tonight for Alberta is that when BC's brought heat, Alberta's had a tough time picking it up, and the way that they wanted to beat it there is they had a quick hitter. They wanted to throw what we call hot, which is get the short route out before the blitz can get home, and Lebrecht double pumped. That was enough time for the rush to get home. Big loss, basically turns the ball over there.
So BC, first down. About their own 17-yard line, a handoff, and it goes nowhere. Nice job by Team Alberta there.
Yeah, really swarming the front there for Alberta. BC trying to get the run game going, which, again, was kind of the foundation of their attack there in the first half.
So we saw Sangara back in after first quarter performance. He's back in to start the third quarter. What do you think of his first quarter performance?
Well, I think there were some struggles adjusting a little bit to some of the different spacing of the Canadian game. We saw a number of overthrows that I think are throws that he would have snapped in there no problem in his usual fields. And if you're looking closely at the field here, he plays at Langley Secondary School right next to us here, so he plays on this field. But that red sideline you see would be the width of the field that he would have. And so I think that's a little bit of where he struggled in the first half here.
And much like the first quarter, that's what we saw right there, where he kind of throws behind his receiver, and that brings up third down and the BC punt unit. Early in the third quarter, BC still up 17-14, 10 minutes, 52 seconds left in the third quarter.
Absolutely, and you can see how in the Canadian game how a first down stop, a negative yardage play on first down, is just such a complete drive changer, right? It's really tough to recover from that extra so in the Canadian three-down game. And so for BC, you're behind the sticks right from the get-go. Puts you in a tough spot.
Here's the punt. Pretty decent punt to just shy of midfield. Lets it bounce. And picks it up for a couple of yards. So a better punt performance than the last time for Team BC, which resulted in a Team Alberta touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, you can see when Richley's back there, you can see that he has the leg to get some length on the ball, but you can also see that it's not somebody who's punting full-time and getting much coaching on it. So it's a little bit inconsistent, right? That one was one where he got some pretty good leg on it. That being said, they were starting from so deep, and then Alberta got a bit of a friendly bounce there. They're already, 10, 15 yards to field goal range as they take over here.
So 1st and 10 for Alberta. A handoff on the opening play. Oh, fake handoff. Oh, a late flag flying in from both directions on the far side of the field.
Going to get a block in the back at the end of that play from Alberta there, and I was having to stifle my chuckling a little bit because as soon as Lebrecht took off there, and I should point out, great run fake.
Had me fooled.
Number 6, Nolan Berringer really sold the run fake there, but Lebrecht, as soon as he takes off and gets some space, you can hear the Alberta coaching staff going, get out of bounds. He did, just unfortunately, his guy took a block that he just really didn't even need to make at the end of that play there. Going to cost Alberta. Although there's a bit of a delay here, and I'm not really sure why the delay.
Yeah,
they're just figuring out the exact spot it looks like. So with the penalty, it'll make it was after the first down yardage, so it'll be first down again, 1st and 10.
So
now we still haven't seen Duncan Critch back in the game. It'll be interesting to see if they give Berringer some run here to try and get the rushing attack going.
And there is the handoff on the outside. Oh, a great tackle by BC. That is 17, Josh Dawes, the receiver. A little Debo Samuel-esque type play right there.
Yeah, that's the second time they've run that already here in the first half. Berger lead blocking for him off the right edge, but it's the Rutland man from Kelowna area making the tackle there. He's listed at, he's wearing number 90. There isn't a number 90 listed on the roster here.
So that brings up 2nd and long. Three receivers out to the left. And they fake that same play they did before. He has a, just overthrows his intended target on the left side. That is the making of a big play, though. If he connects with his receiver there, he had the lane to the end zone.
Yeah, that was a really well-designed play. They faked the fly sweep. Now, it was going to a different guy, but they faked the fly sweep going in one direction. They roll back into the other direction.
It's a tough throw across your body like that.
It is. I think Lebrecht maybe had a split second to settle down and get his feet underneath him before throwing that.
Nicholas Doyle, the intended target there on the outside.
Yeah, Doyle, a guy from a powerhouse program, St. Francis in Calgary, the St. Francis Browns. You can recognize that helmet if you're an NFL fan.
So punts away. BC has a bit of a trouble with it, but they managed to recover. And Alberta pins them pretty deep at about the 10-yard line. So BC with some tough starting field position again.
Yeah, I mean, you want yardage there if you are Team Alberta and try and get some points on the board, but I think things turned out pretty well all told for them as BC has to start with a very long field again. And based on how disjointed BC's first series was, I think you got to be feeling pretty good about yourself right now if you are Alberta.
So under 9 minutes left in the third quarter. BC still up 17-14. Senga still under center for this series.
Run formation. There's that power towards the tight end
There's
side.
the run, a bit of a cutback. And again, Alberta doing a great job in the second half so far of just bottling it up in the middle.
Yeah, and it looks like Team Alberta's kind of figured that one out. So BC's going to have to mix up what they're running out of that formation a little bit more. Alberta's figured out how they want to align to it. So they need a little bit of a wrinkle there. This has been a big shift, right? In the first half, BC was able to make hay pretty consistently running the ball. They haven't been able to get anything going the first couple tries here in the second half. So Alberta's really done a great job of adjusting to that part of the game and shutting that part of the BC attack out.
So 2nd and long, again for BC, familiar spot early in the third quarter. Staying out of the gun and whistles, and the flags fly.
That'll be another time count violation on the BC offense. Now, one of the challenges with this time count thing, the BC offense, they have to take cues from the referees here. Again, it's a shorter play clock in the Canadian game than the American game. There is no in-stadium play clock monitor for them to be watching either. Now, that's not an excuse. Most of these guys play without one of those on their home fields, but they're just not picking up the play clock in certain situations here.
2nd down from his own end zone, narrowly avoids the blitz, and he comes down with a catch, a very nice catch there.
Looked like some incidental contact up high, and a flag came out. I'm wondering if BC's going to get a call on that as the Alberta DB was trying to break that one up. Looked like he may have grazed the face mask of the receiver there.
If the catch is good.
That'll be a huge bailout call for BC, and that's exactly what's going to get called there.
Well, just like that, the sticks move.
Yeah, big call there. Really turns things around for BC.
First and 10 for BC, 7:45 left in the third quarter. Sanga out of the gun. Takes the snap, looks to his right, rolling out, throwing down the field. Nice catch at the 40-yard line. And gains another about 10 yards after the catch as well. Another first down for BC.
That's Thomas Roberts again, the H-back. as I called him. He's not really playing as such tonight, but really nice catch by the bigger body receiver there. Climb the ladder and come down with that one. And Sanga is starting to settle in a little bit here. They seem to like getting him on the run. He likes that half field. That's one way of cutting down the width of the field is getting into those rollout situations, half field.
BC from their own 50, 1st and 10. 6:40 left, 6:50 left in the third quarter. The snap, the handoff, and Alberta quickly in for the tackle and loss.
So BC needing to adjust and get that run game going. They just have not been successful with that thus far in the second half, and where that offensive line looked to really be excelling in the first half. They're seeing some leakage there. It looked like that time the left tackle didn't step down with the rest of the offensive line. Alberta was just able to shoot a gap right through the B gap, man, untouched into the backfield. BC into another 2nd and long situation.
Second half for BC. Sanga takes the snap, looking down the right side, going deep, and it is picked off by Alberta, heading back the other direction. Alberta with their 2nd interception of the game.
Trey Peacock out of
Okotoks.
Okotoks. Go Dogs. It's the pro baseball team in Okotoks, by the way.
A great logo.
Yes, absolutely. So, hey, another underthrown ball there, unfortunately, from Sanga. I think it's tough. It's tough for me to even tell which of those two receivers he was trying to hit there.
Right.
I thought he was trying to get it out to the wide out live. Now I think he may have just really underthrown the seam there. I don't know. It almost looked as if he maybe thought that his receiver was going to put on the brakes and sit down there, and he instead kept running the seam. Another easy interception for Alberta, their 3rd of the game.
So first down for Alberta, a run play up the middle. And a great little pickup there, and they're all of a sudden at the BC 40.
That's Berger, the running back from Red Deer. The guy that we were talking about, are they going to get him involved? It looks like I do still see Duncan Critch, number 3, on the sideline, but he hasn't stepped on the field here in the second half. So I think it's probably Berger's show from here on out. We'll see if they can get him going. Nice pickup there, 9 on first down.
So it looks like St. Mackenzie back in at quarterback as well. He takes the snap, handoff,
Berger again.
and forward progress.
Full credit to Alberta on both sides of the ball right now. They are starting to push BC around a little bit. They've really taken over both lines of scrimmage here early in the second half. BC's going to need a little bit of a pushback here because they've gotten some serious push in big situations here up front on both sides, Alberta.
So that last run, good for the first down for Alberta. Oh, high snap, back to the center, and he just falls on it. So a bit of a sloppy play by Team Alberta there, and all of a sudden they're looking at 2nd and very long.
Yeah, tough break, and that's a backbreaker, right? Like, you're now in 2nd and 25. You're out of field goal range now as well in a 3-point game. Tough situation for that to occur.
Did a good job to fall on it, though.
He did. I mean, the question now for Alberta is how much yardage do you need to try and get back at this to make this into a field goal situation. But the way things have gone early in this half, I think they'll take what they can get. I would expect something underneath here, set them up in a better position to punt and pin BC deep.
And here we go. He looks out to his right, connects, short reception, but obviously well short of the first down.
Got a late flag coming in here. That might change the math significantly. I think it might have been a late hit. If they call this a personal foul, it's potentially an automatic first.
Wow, this would be a big
based on the body language from the BC players, I think this is going to be an automatic first type of penalty.
So Ethan Mackey with the reception, followed up by the personal foul.
And they are calling unnecessary roughness there. Looked like a late hit, really unnecessary stuff right at the end of the play there. And Alberta had actually lost yardage on that, just throwing the check down.
Bit of a theme of the day, though, right? BC, more penalties.
Yep. And we've seen from both teams already in this half, just really unnecessary penalties. And the players are excited. This is a one-off game. I get that, but you just need a little bit more discipline. The block in the back that Alberta had on their last possession, completely unnecessary. That one right there, completely unnecessary. BC was off the field. It was going to be
Another high
third
snap here.
and almost 30.
But he takes off after the bad snap and another flag down, but Sam McKenzie able to come down. He had to climb the ladder on that one after another bad snap, but managed to save a few yards. We'll see what the penalty is, though.
I think that's going to be a hold based on location. Sure enough.
Holding against the offense. So that moves things back just a touch. A very fast-moving third quarter so far. 3 minutes and 29 seconds remain. BC still up 17-14, so still looking for first points of the third quarter, but it has been moving very quickly.
Yeah, another. Unfortunately, this third quarter's reminded me a lot of the first quarter, and just a lot of moving backwards from both sides here. Some of those have been football plays that have legitimately gone for a loss, but the penalties have just continued to be a big story in this game, unfortunately. Another high snap.
Another high snap, and he is racing out to the right side, trying to find anybody downfield, and just throws it out of bounds.
So that's at least the second time this game Alberta's tried to roll out. BC's been able to penetrate through the Alberta offensive line and stop the rollout. And the problem with that is if you're not able to protect it up front, if it stops the quarterback from rolling out, all of your routes are designed to go to that half of the field. So if your quarterback all of a sudden is forced to stop, go in the other direction, he doesn't have a lot of options, and everybody has to kind of scramble to figure something out.
Now that's three high snaps in a row as well. So
It
at that
is.
point, is that like the jitters and –
A little bit, for sure. I mean, I think part of it, too, is that your quarterback needs to communicate to the center, hey, this is the issue.
Yeah.
Popped it up a little bit there, but it was
Here we go.
catchable.
Again, rolling back, looking for anyone downfield. Throws against the grain, finds his receiver, who finds a bit of a seam, breaking out to the right side at half field. Making something out of nothing. Still going to be a little bit short of a first down.
Pretty good outcome, all things considered,
Absolutely.
for Alberta there. McKenzie just kind of running for his life, and that could have been stopped in the backfield. But, Barriger, makes a couple guys miss, gets it back almost to the original marker. Now, that's this situation I was talking about where you're in a good situation to punt and pin BC deep here, right? It feels like an Alberta breakthrough is kind of right on the tip of our tongues here, and it just hasn't quite materialized yet, but I feel it's coming.
The snap, the kick, angling down the right sidelines, out of bounds at about the 16-15. The mark being a little shorter of that. Berger making the most of his minutes with Crit still on the sideline.
Yeah, for sure. Has shown a little juice for Alberta. It's just unfortunate that they've kind of put themselves behind the sticks because that takes the ability to run the ball as an effective attack kind of out of their hands when you're looking at second, and not just like 1st and 15, but you're looking at really long yardage, 20 plus. It's tough when you want to get the running attack going in that situation.
So, minute 48 left in the third quarter. BC still up 17-14, first down.
So here's that tight end, that collapsed side formation again. We'll see if BC tries something different out of this or if they're going to continue to try and get the run game going with this power.
Senga taking the snap. Rolls out to his right, throwing down the right sideline, and finds his man. Nice catch there by number 7, Matthew Gale.
I'm just going to record this into my phone and play it back for you, but flag on the play.
We'll
Holding.
see where it's going. Holding. So, once again, BC racking up. The refs' arms must be getting tired from reaching into their pockets.
For sure, but look, like I just saw it on the replay.
Yeah.
It's a clear hold. You purely just, like the players just have to play a cleaner game here. And what's unfortunate there is that was the backside of that play and was another unnecessary penalty. Like it just didn't have to happen. And the left tackle, he got his hands around the outside of the defender's body, tried to turn and toss him to the ground. That's an easy call, and it really wasn't something that affected the play. And that's unfortunately been a theme here too.
So again, BC find themselves backed up right up against their end zone. First down. Senga with the snap. Looking up the middle. He has his man. And there he is. There's number 7, Matthew Gale. A nice catch. Long distance. First down all the way out to the BC 50.
Full credit to Sanga. He stepped in and delivered that one, and that ball was right on the money. Looks like he's gotten his feel for those seam balls down, and BC, a great job there. They obviously sniffed out a cover 3, ran the seam right through that coverage.
A very nice play there.
And that could have been hit a couple times in the first half, but it didn't hit the guy in stride. It did there, and that's a big play for BC to finally get out from deep in their own end for the first time this half. We're almost at the end of the third quarter. This is the first time they've been outside their own 15 on offense.
So BC trying to make something happen before the end of the third quarter. Sanga in the gun. First down, handoff. And nice little trip up by the Alberta lineman there.
Yeah, that's a really nice play. That was number 11 on the play there. Ryder Swagar with the stop as he penetrated upfield and he got underneath. He didn't cut inside of the puller there. He lowered his body, got a low body position, and basically undercut the pull block there and then cut the back's feet out from underneath him. That's a really nice play in the run game there from number 11.
So if BC's coaching staff is living up to what they did in the first half, this might be the final play we see from Sanga at quarterback this game.
I would assume he's probably going to be able to finish this possession if they're able to convert this.
The snap, the handoff to Gale out the right side, and nowhere to go.
Flag on the play.
It's a common theme. That was actually not Gord, by the way. That was a recording.
Yeah.
That was he was true to his word.
you actually just heard that in your own head.
Yeah.
It's you'll wake up with my voice saying flag on the play tomorrow morning.
We should
Cold
mention
sweats.
while the refs are discussing this, we have 2 more games tomorrow as well. Alberta and BC right back at it. The U16 team playing at 10 a.m., U17 at 1 p.m. right here at McLeod Park in Langley. Both games you can, again, watch on the feed on YouTube, so it should be great games as well. But we still have this one to go, 17-14 at the end of the third quarter. Team BC, 11 and 130. There we go.
We just wanted to get here early. Oh, okay. So, interesting. Hang on. So,
Up here in the broadcast booth, we're having an Alberta-BC time zone debate, whether the start games
yeah.
for tomorrow.
Was that Mountain Time?
Team Alberta is going on Mountain Time.
We just wanted about a 30-point head start.
So we hit the start of the fourth quarter. Again, BC up 17-14.
So that's interesting. So there was a penalty called on that play. I think because it was declined, it now becomes quarter time. If you have an accepted penalty, the quarter wouldn't have changed over. So when I say interesting, I mean one of those things that only a complete football nerd like myself finds interesting. But I think because the penalty was declined, you can switch over quarter. So it is going to be the fourth quarter. BC set to punt here on third and about 6. I just heard a watch the fake here. I'll tell you what, if Richley, who tips it at about 285 pounds, decides to take off on a fake here, you guys will hear me cheering into the microphone.
So the snap's away. The punt is good. Another high punt down the right side, fading towards the out of bounds marker. Kicker is going to return it right in the hash and trying to go to the far side of the field. Cuts it back. That is
As we get the celly from Richley, the punter, after that one, we'll see what the flag on the play is.
That's number 8, Titan Johansson back there.
Flags are on opposite sides of the field. It'll be interesting to see. This may be 2 separate fouls here. Nice kick from Richley, by the way. We were talking about the inconsistency. He got a nice hang time on that, a nice spin on it. It got a good bounce for him, too. You know, even without the penalty, wherever that turns out, that kick is going to net almost 40 yards. Pretty nice kick. It looks like this is going to be a blocking infraction on the Alberta team here. Back them up even further. And now, like, the field's been tilted towards this side. I don't know if the gravitational pull towards the south end zone here is a little bit stronger or what, but we flip quarter time, and all of a sudden Alberta's backed up in that same end zone. It's the phases of the moon getting involved here, I think, Adam.
Absolutely. Hey, it's a clear night. The moon is out. And yes, we did hear your complaints at halftime about my lower mainland ignorance of -3 being cold. I got my gloves on because we heard from a few people out in Grand Prairie, and they're like, oh, it's -22 today. So apologies to the people in Grand Prairie. I will own that. Egg on my face. But -3 degrees here, brisk night. Here's the snap. Nowhere to go, but he escapes the pocket. Ooh. Tough-looking tackle. Manages to pick up a few yards.
Yeah, an unfortunate situation for the quarterback there. He gets wrapped up low from behind there. Grayson Statham, number 34, wrapping him low. He runs right into the linebacker in the top half. That's not going to feel good. You know, we've seen this a couple times here, though. Give the BC secondary full credit. We've seen it a couple times already in the second half. An Alberta quarterback sit back, have a couple counts there to be able to get rid of the ball and just not like what he's seeing and have to try and take off and turn something into nothing. Or nothing into something, excuse me.
Oh, McKenzie again. Takes the snap. Handoff up the gut. A couple more yards. Just shy of the first down.
Hey, that's a nice job by Berger there on the handoff. He powering through contact because he was stacked up right about at the line of scrimmage, drove the tackler forward, and is now making this, I think, a third and less than a yard situation, but certainly one that Alberta is going to think about converting, and it looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field here.
So Alberta going for it at their own 40.
Big play here.
Third and short. And they go for it.
So
flags fly.
Could see it live. So this is where BC guys get caught. The entire BC defensive line habitually lined up right on the football there because they're just not used to the yard off the ball. It wasn't even close. Like they were right on the ball. So if you're Alberta, you've seen this so much tonight. If you're third and less than 2 yards, I'm keeping the offense on the field every single time because BC has shown that they can't even line up. Like, look at the replay there. They're right on the ball. That's a guy who's been playing high school football his entire life. An American high school football, to clarify. That's what we play out here in BC, in case you haven't picked up on my ongoing theme of the evening.
So, fresh set of downs. And a couple of yards on the play.
So another situation, it's not a coverage sack because he got back to past the line of scrimmage there, but another situation where Alberta's trying to hit the quick game. BC secondary is giving them not the look that they're looking for, and it's forcing the quarterback to try and make something out of nothing. The rush is getting home pretty quick a lot of the time from BC too. So Alberta's going to have to tighten up their protection a little bit here if they're going to get the ball moving. Or they're going to have to find a way to mix up that quick game and open some things up in this BC secondary.
So McKenzie takes the snap, fake handoff, looks out to his right, goes back left, finds Nolan Berger, who is fighting for yards but will be short of the first down, well short.
There's that throwback screen play again that Alberta's like to run today. BC linebackers, again, number 10. Last time they ran that play, same guy, Alexander Gagnon, sniffed it out and broke it up. And he does it again there.
Yeah, just look at the replay. There's absolutely nowhere for him to go there.
And, it's screenplays are great when they work. You get a couple offensive line bodies downfield, they get engaged, but it's not always the easiest block for offensive linemen. You have a size advantage, but you don't have a speed advantage. So it's a challenging block for those guys to get engaged with smaller and typically more agile players.
Another flag down.
That one will be a no yards call. And that's one thing that will often happen when you get that bounce back in the Canadian game. If the return is paying attention, jump up on it quickly, take your free 5 yards. That's what you'll get there. So BC takes over. Pretty good field position for them. And it looks like they're going to make that quarterback change, go back to Quinn Newcomb like they did in the second quarter in the first half there. So I would say Sanga's night appears to be done. His stat line's not going to jump off the page at the end of the day, but I do think that he was better in that third quarter. Showed some real progress, hit some balls that he wasn't hitting earlier in the game. I think he's got to feel good about the way he finishes this game if indeed his night is done.
And a couple of those throws were connections. They got wiped out by penalties. So there was a few plays that, they won't hit the stat sheet, but overall a decent night. But yeah, Newcomb back in under center.
Yeah, I mean, you looked at the first half stats, and you're shocked by how low all the numbers are, but then you think about how much stuff got called back on penalties, and now you understand. Another change in the backfield, too. They're in that I formation again, but Eli is the deep guy here.
So BC starts things off with a handoff out to the right, find a bit of a gap, and first down.
So they run that power play towards the collapse side. They've reversed the running backs this time. So this time it was Mitran lead blocking for Eli. And this is what the running attack looked like in the first half for BC. If they can keep that going, they feel a lot better about themselves.
So BC crosses midfield, 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter, up 17-14. Still looking for any points so far in this back half, the second half.
Here's that formation again. I would expect something different here, potentially that rollback play to the left side off of the action.
And another handoff. Identical play, but...
So they run the same play, but they're going to get a hold here. And despite the reaction of the BC sidelines and players, that is a legitimate holding call. And so this is... I'm going to try not to be...
Wow.
So officials have changed their mind on that particular call. I saw where the call was. You'll see the right guard here in the blue helmet, number 64. And you'll see that Barry right there at the point of attack. Look, it's not as clear-cut on replay as I thought it looked like in real time. He's got his hands to the inside, and then he topples the man. I'm okay with that being a non-call. Thing is that you see that in real time, and I wasn't surprised they called it either, because he's squared up on the block, and then you see him kind of turn the defender to the play side, and it looks like a hold. It looks like he's kind of thrown him.
Looks like we have a timeout called by the BC sideline. So 10 minutes left, just under 11 minutes left. Close game. Who do you think has the slight edge right now?
Well, I do think that with the game being as tight as it is, I do think that BC has a slight advantage here. They've got good field position right now. They've been moving the ball kind of for the first time in the second half here at all. And so we'll see, right? But what we did see in the first half where we had our scoring plays is we had explosion plays, right? So you had the long 74-yard touchdown pass, explosion play. You had 2 turnovers inside BC's 5-yard line, explosion play, these things that turn a game on their head. What's happened so far in the second half is you just haven't had that explosion play in either direction yet.
BC looking for it. And a handoff to the left side. Picks up a handful of yards. Sets up seconds... about 6 or 7.
So the bread and butter continues to be what BC's going for there. It's that power out of the I-back formation, the collapse side towards the tight end. They obviously like what they're seeing on that side of that formation, so they're just going to keep running it. And I think they've got their best guy in there right now. Eli has, I think, had the most juice in the BC backfield this evening, and certainly the guy who's been most successful toting the rock on the ground.
So BC setting up, second down.
Same formation other way. But look at the stack over that tight end side. Alberta thinks they know what's coming.
And they are
BC
looking left.
switches it up.
Oof. And another flag on the play.
So it's too bad. I thought that he had the underneath man open there. He pushed it down to the deeper guy who was in coverage. Flag did come out, so
We also have an injured Alberta member down on the field as well, so the training staff coming over to look at him right now. So refs discussing it over right now as we've crept down below 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Pass interference on Alberta. That'll be first down BC. So what do you think on that call?
Yeah, you know what? That's the pass interference call there is a legitimate call. You can see the DB wrap his hand around the outside of the body and get a little tug on the back shoulder there. And it's too bad because I think he could have broken up that pass without having to do that.
Right.
His body was he was in the right position to do so.
So the Team Alberta member still down about the 20-yard line or 15-yard line, just getting attention from the training staff right now. But overall, we'll see if BC can mount something here. 17-14 again, 9:53 left in the fourth quarter.
I just hope that we're able to see a little bit of a cleaner run of play here. It just, unfortunately, and you've heard me, I think I've been pretty fair in terms of saying, that's a legitimate penalty. I think that's a fair call, those kinds of things. I just hope that between the players and the officials that things can kind of clean up a little bit.
Yes.
And we can get a bit of a run of play here because it's been very disjointed throughout here with the amount of penalties on both sides. And so I just hope that whatever decides the game here in this last little under 10 minutes here is clean football play as much as possible.
All right, so we have things back underway here. Newcomb taking the snap. Looking to his right, airs it out, contact at the throw, and he just slightly underthrows his receiver, incomplete.
I like the call there on the Alberta defense. We haven't seen them bring a lot of heat tonight, and they really brought it up front there. And I would say in a situation like this, again, where you have an offense that hasn't practiced together a lot, an offensive line that isn't used to communicating with each other very much, that is maybe learning new protections, I would bring a lot of heat in games like this because it stresses out offensive linemen and makes their lives more difficult. BC struggled to pick that up. If I'm Alberta, I'm bringing a lot of heat here, especially since you're getting back into your own red zone a little bit.
Yeah, Newcomb, the Prince George, ended up taking a pretty good shot at the end of that play there.
Yeah, Newcomb dressed in the gear of the new Prince George Junior team entering into the BCFC next fall, the Prince George Kodiaks.
There we go. Newcomb looking downfield, the throw into coverage. And did he haul that in? What a catch by BC, bringing it down at the 10-yard line.
That's Thomas Roberts again, that big body receiver. I've been really impressed with him tonight. He's made some serious catches and a North Shore guy, but he's a Vancouver College player, probably the biggest BC high school football program, Vancouver College, and he's really showing out tonight and makes a really nice catch over the middle there.
So Newcomb coming in, much as he did in the second quarter, marching his team down the field.
Lucky he wasn't playing in the NFL there. He celebrated just a little bit, probably would have been thrown in the NFL.
The snap, the handoff, rolling out to his left, breaks the first tackle, and then gets taken down by Alberta just on the edge of out of bounds. Looks like he brought him in out of bounds.
Yeah, Eli does a really good job of making something out of that there because Alberta was all over it. It's that power play towards the tight end side again that they've seen a bunch tonight, and they had really eaten that up. I mean, I as an offensive coordinator, I really hesitate to lean too hard on a play that relies on your skill guys blocking. If you want to run the ball, you want to run behind your big guys that specialize in blocking more often than not, right? So
you say like that, you've had some experience in that category.
Yeah, well, let people like me do their job, right?
So second down, the snap, another handoff, and brings him down.
So they switch up the running backs and run the same play again there, basically, and this is, again, with the lack of preparation time, you don't expect a huge playbook here, but it seems pretty clear that, BC's kind of got, hey, here's what we're going to run, try and stop us, and this time Alberta tightened up and got the stop on them when they needed to. So looks like they're going to send out the field goal team here to kick a shorty and make this a 6-point game instead of 3.
And taking a lot of time off the clock.
I should point out, by the way, this could be a tough kick. Like, this is we grew up here in BC. This is, we call this the Paul McCallum kick around here. That infamous one that he shanked in the Western Final way back in the day that the Saskatchewan Roughriders fans loved. But this is a really tight kick. It's a wide hash. The uprights are at the front of the end zone instead of the back. They look wide from here. They don't look that wide to him.
But no problem. A field goal for BC, extending the lead to 6. They are up 20-14, 6:35 left in the fourth quarter. My go-to Paul McCallum trivia. I mean, I just kind of gave away the answer, but you know that he was the first person to ever record a point in the XFL.
I don't think I remembered that. No, I did not know that. Another Paul McCallum fun fact, though, is that he played his college ball, quote-unquote. He didn't play college ball. He played junior ball for the South Fraser Rams, now the Langley Rams. who are out of this particular stadium, McLeod Stadium right here. Were they Surrey at that point in time? Surrey Rams? Anyway, I grew up with the South Fraser Rams, so there you go. Paul McCallum, by the way, significantly older than I am.
Sorry, Paul, if you're watching. Call it your age. There we go. Team Alberta, first play, first down. Just like that, moving up the field.
It's past his bedtime. Josh Dodd's making the reception there. He's been the leading receiver for Alberta thus far tonight, and in the second half in particular, he's been their guy. Really nice throw and catch there. They run a play action going one way, boot back out the other way. That's a good way to create a clean pocket for your quarterback. Give him a nice look downfield. Lebrecht delivers that one on the money. Easy money for Alberta there.
So Lebrecht fakes the hands off, rolls out right, bottled up, and taking it down for a loss.
So an ongoing issue for most of the night, and that's 34. Grayson Statham in the backfield for BC there. Ongoing issue for the night for Alberta, that particular role play, their play action towards the right side there, and they have not been able to successfully slow up the front side of the defensive line whenever they've tried to run it. We've talked about it a few times, BC blowing up that roll. They've not been able to figure out that seal block on the end and the front side on that particular play.
So that brings up second and long for Team Alberta. Faking the throw, then launching downfield, has his man, 87, tip play catch, just drops it. A bobble for about 5-6 yards there, but he could not haul it in. A great effort by 87.
Ooh, man. Luke Bednarik, number 87 there, the tip from the BC defensive back, I think that was Tether again, the guy with the interception earlier, but he tips it up in the air instead of down. You always want to try and tip the ball down. Ball pops up in the air and he had a chance to come down with that. Would have been that explosion play that I was talking about that we've been looking for here in the second half to change things.
Unfortunately, it brings up third down. Punting unit on for Team Alberta. 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, down 6. High snap. And the punt goes out of bounds. Flag is down on the play, though.
Oh, you beat my recording to it. The Alberta coaching staff seemed to believe that they had an illegal formation on this particular play. But I think they might be calling contact on the snapper here. That's exactly what they're calling. See, in most other walks of life, I would just be a know-it-all that nobody liked.
Yeah.
But it serves me well in this particular gig.
The Tony Romo of McLeod Park in Langley. So just like that, Alberta moving up the field. What a turn of events.
Yeah, well, and not only is it going to cost BC field position, it's going to be Alberta's ball still. This is an automatic first down penalty. Alberta is going to retain the ball here, and so unfortunately, one of those big turn, those explosion plays I was talking about, unfortunately, comes by way of penalty this time around.
So first down for Alberta. The snap. Fake handoff. Looks to his left. Hauls it in. A pretty good pickup there.
So
a couple yards.
I like the adjustment here for Alberta. They're running the play action the way that they ran it the previous successful time. And what they're doing is they're not even trying to block that backside end, the guy that they're rolling towards. It's a half roll, but they're letting the run play take the defensive lineman away from the play. So instead of bringing a blocker and potentially drawing him towards the play, having to block him, they're just letting the run action in the other direction block that guy and then throwing off of him.
Nicholas Doyle out of Calgary with the reception. Here's the next play. A run play up the middle. Just shy of the first down, a couple of yards short. So it brings up a third down and a big decision for Team Alberta.
Bit of an awkward tackle there. You see a guy go down like that, and sometimes you get a knee going. Berger is a little bit limpy, but he is back on his feet, so that's good to see. Decision time for Alberta, but it looks like the offense is still on the field here with 3:40 left on the clock. Remember what I said last time in short yardage. BC has had issues lining up in these situations. If I'm Alberta, I get up to the line quick and get going. Now look at number 10, the linebacker. Smart play, making sure he tells his guys, hey, here's where you got to line up. I think they're offside again.
Immediately bottled up. Did you think that was offside? It was close?
It was close.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a hand extended within that yard. Certainly the whole body was back, And the guy making the play, Nathan McMahon, right up the middle there, just shoots right through the line of scrimmage. You can see his hand. I think he's a yard off the ball there, but he just goes straight off the ball.
Great tackle.
Beats the right guard clean through the A gap and makes the play.
And great eyes by you, noticing that the one player there telling his teammates, stay back, don't.
Yeah, and that's Alex Gagnon again, obviously the defensive leader for the Team BC squad here.
So a huge turnover with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. And BC now has the ball just shy of their own 40-yard line, up 6. The snap.
High back,
handoff.
power, near side towards the tight end.
Spins out of a couple of tackles and picks up about 5 yards, 6 yards.
Mitran, the lead back, or the deep back this time, getting the ball with Eli Lee blocking for him.
So time ticking down on Team Alberta. Still 2 minutes and 43 seconds left, so they still have time to get something back, but they need a stop here on second down.
Yeah, they do. And with that type of chunk on first down, I would not be surprised if BC runs the ball again here. And they're also checking in an extra offensive lineman at the tight end position.
So Newcomb with the snap. Indeed, it is a handoff, and he finds a bit of a gap there and is going to pick up the first down.
And I'm really surprised that Alberta is not adjusting a little bit more to what BC's doing here. They're essentially telegraphing what they want to do here by bringing in the extra offensive lineman at tight end. And I'm a little surprised. Like, BC's basically saying, hey, here's what we're going to do. Come and stop us right now. And at this point, they're successful with it.
So ball exactly at midfield. BC first down. Newcomb under center. The snap, flag on the play. Bit of a broken play, an awkward handoff there. Taken down for a loss. There is that flag on the far side, though.
So it looks like that was a wrinkle. BC was trying to run out of that formation. That time they brought that wing back on an end around, and I think that they were trying to run that back going the other way. But you're right, it was discombobulated right from the beginning, and they moved early. I think that'll be declined because of the loss. It will be. So you're going to see second and about 12 here. I backed it up a little bit more. So let's say second and 13, 14. So that's a huge play for Alberta, right? That BC now has to either concede that they're going to punt after this play if they want to keep it on the ground, or they have to try and throw here.
Time ticking towards 2 minutes left on the clock. BC up 20-14, fourth quarter.
Passing set, 5 wide receivers.
The snap, looks back, looks to his right, throws towards the right sideline. It is up in the air. The receiver comes back for it. And did they rule that a catch? No.
No. They're calling it not a catch. That would have been a heck of an adjustment in the air and a heck of a job getting body underneath that ball.
Yeah.
BC sideline not pleased with the call, but 2 referees from opposite angles both called that an incomplete pass. You'll see it on the replay right here. Falls back, and, man, it is hard to see, but I think where that ball came down, it's tough for him to get his body underneath it. He was still kind of sideways. I suspect that ball would have hit the ground on the way down.
The near side referee was kind of blocked out by it, so he kind of hesitated and looked to his other referees for the signal, and they definitely saw incomplete pass.
Yeah, BC coach Corey Philpott, it looks like he's signaling for the, unfortunately for him, non-existent challenge flag here, showing what the BC sideline thinks of that call. Heck of an effort there by number 21, Johnny Corbett, even to make that close. I think that was probably the right call, but really good effort just to even get close to catching that.
So punting unit on, up and away. Catch it in the air, immediately tackled by BC. So Alberta will take over at their own 40, $1:42 left on the clock, 20-14 for BC. So Alberta looking to drive down the field with not much time left on the clock.
Yeah, a short kick there for BC, but a really good job by the BC coverage team in that they don't take the no yards. Because that ball had some hang time, it was caught clean in the air. A no yards would have been a 15-yard no-yarder. Huge swing if they're not disciplined. So good job by the coverage team to stay out of that 5-yard bubble and then swarm and make the tackle before much of a return. Alberta got a move here. They got both timeouts, so a lot of time, but a $1:42 can sneak away on you if you're not careful.
So the snap. Fake handoff rolls out. throws left. Looks like it bounced. Yes, incomplete pass.
So this is the play that they made some hay on earlier here in the half, and unfortunately, Lebrecq just does not throw this well.
Flags.
And I saw some barking between the intended receiver there, Josh Dodds, and the BC sideline, and a late flag come out. We'll see who gets called here.
BC's coaching staff signaling it's
and they're
against
calling
Alberta.
it on the BC sideline. See, like, I find that really disappointing. Like, this is an all-star game. You're competing out there. I get it. But the barking stuff is not necessary, especially when you're leading in this situation.
And look at the time, like the situation, fourth quarter. There's a minute 30 left.
You know, like, you're hearing the Alberta crowd get pumped up here because you gave them a freebie. They had second and long, and you gave them a freebie because you had to run your mouth. And I don't know who did that, but that's really disappointing to see.
We'll see if Alberta can capitalize. Rolling out to the right, avoids a sack, breaks out to the left, launches it way downfield, and just out of bounds.
A little surprised they went back to the well on that. That's that same play-action scheme that we've been talking about all night that's been blown up every time. And again, number 34, Grayson Statham, shot right through the front side gap. No, barely anybody touched him. Pressured that right off the bat. I'm a little surprised that that's what they went to in that situation.
Good on Cade Lebrecq there for avoiding the sack, though, because he was in danger, managed to get outside, and then just threw it away.
No, Lebrecq, I mean, whereas in previous times they've been able to make that sack or he's been kind of out of options, he almost made something happen there.
There we go. Second down, Team Alberta. Throws out to the sidelines. Caught. Cuts back in. And
remember in the first half when we talked about, I thought that there was a receiver with his knee down on that same play in the first half. They are going to call that the receiver's knee was down this time.
Nicholas Doyle with the catch, but
tougher for us to see because it's near the near sideline here. So if you see a replay on that on your screen, it's not going to be the easiest thing to see. But in amateur ball, if he does have his knee down when he's caught that ball, he doesn't need to be touched. It's not down by contact like the pros. He's just down. And unfortunately for Alberta, it was determined that he was just down on that one and inbounds to boot. So, hey, this is probably ball game right here. Third and about 11, and we've got 1:23 on the clock. BC gets a stop here, and it's just about over.
Looks like a timeout's been called, but yeah, they're talking it over because this should decide things. So if you're Team Alberta, what are you dialing up when your game is on the line?
Well, they've been working a lot of play action stuff here in the second half. One thing I might be tempted to go back to is they had some success in the first half, bringing in extra guys into protection, running 4, having them sit in front of the coverage here. They're not in that set. Oh, yeah, see, they're moving into that 2-back set. That may be what they're going to here.
Game likely on the line here. Here's the snap. The throw. Nope. He's going to try and break out, and BC bottles him up.
So, hey, they went to what I suggested. They brought those extra backs to the backfield, ran max protect. And
more flags.
Oh, we got some extracurriculars again here, and Laundry coming out late. We'll see if that changes, but it should be, no matter what that call is, because it's after the play, I believe that should still be BC's ball. Field position may be affected, but that still should be BC's ball, I believe.
We'll see how involved. Looks like 93 Axel Stanton was involved there.
Yeah, so call's going to be on Alberta here and BC. Looks like offsetting penalties. But either way, no matter what that was called, it was after the play. The change of possession had already happened. That wasn't going to change things. They offset, so you see the ball where they were stopped. Yeah, like I said, they went to what I probably would have gone to there. BC adjusted and ate it up. And it's unfortunately the flip side. If you have to leave extra blockers in, your 4 receivers running routes are going to have to be able to get it done against probably extra coverage bodies, and they just weren't there. So, look, 1:16 on the clock. It isn't over yet. BC still gotta rack up a couple first downs. You can see the guy on the near side there. That's the extra offensive lineman in the yellow helmet. His hand up is him checking with the official saying, hey, I'm eligible on this particular play. They're telegraphing that they're running the power.
And that's exactly what they do. A little bit of a cutback, though, and he's trying to cut it outside. Breaks another tackle. And a just shy of the first down, it looks like.
You know, I told you we should have paid these guys in wage, not commission.
Yes. Yeah.
Look, really good play by Eli there. That was designed to be that power running to the overloaded side, but Eli, knowing that Alberta knows what's coming, they overplay it a little bit too much. Eli makes a great cutback against the grain, takes advantage of that. Unfortunately, you get a hold towards the tail end of that play there.
Against BC.
All right.
Don't really see
you
it.
don't
though,
see it on the
play.
screen
No.
in the replay there, but
So now this complicates things a little, I assume, right? Minute and 6 left. All of a sudden, it is second and long.
it'll be first. It should be first.
and long.
Yeah, so, yeah, that penalty happens during the play. That should be first and long, so they've changed it now. It's 1st and 20. That extra lineman's coming off the field now. So, again, BC has a decision to make. Are you going to play it safe, make sure that you run some clock down here, or are you going to play aggressive and try and get this ball to the sticks?
So
I wouldn't be surprised to see a safe check down type of pass here.
Newcomb
Or that.
out to Matthew Gale on the run. Another flag down as he cuts it back to about the 47.
Would not be surprised again if that's a hold. Now, you can't coach scared and coach to try and avoid penalties. Ultimately, at the end of the day, your players need to do what they're doing. But I think for BC, like, yeah. Have a talk with your players, something like that, because that's been, I think, 6 or 7 holds alone on the BC offense tonight.
And that's exactly what it is, and they've declined the penalty.
Interesting that they declined the penalty here. BC did pick up a chunk there. They got about 7. So you're at second and, about 12 it looks like. Interesting that they decline it, but the thing is that down for Alberta right now is as valuable as the yardage is, probably more valuable.
We're now at under a minute on the clock, 58 seconds.
So they've decided that 8 yards was worth the extra down, basically.
The snap, the handoff,
Bread and butter.
out to the left side, finds a bit of a hole, but he will be short.
Yeah,
of the first down.
Alberta rallied up. He looks like he's going to be about 4 or 5 short here. So BC went back to the, like I said, like I was saying during the play there, BC went back to the bread and butter.
Yep. That was
Ran that power towards the tight end side. Interesting that Sanga, the other quarterback, just ran onto the field. And Richley is not dropping back to punt here. So we do have a timeout for Alberta. I'm a little surprised that BC tipped their hand on what they were doing so early here. They maybe just didn't see the timeout call.
So some late theatrics here at McLeod Park in Langley. 52 seconds on the clock. Team BC up 20-14 against Team Alberta.
So formation, you've still got the extra lineman in on the tight end side. They have Eli deep in the backfield. They did switch up quarterbacks, which I find interesting and a little bit suspicious.
And they do get the snap away, handoff, up the gut, and it looks like it is going to be short of the first down.
So what that tells me is that BC was not overly confident in their ability to get a good punt off and pin Alberta deep. Worth noting, Alberta blocks that punt in the first half. That might be what's in the BC coaching staff's head. They felt like they had a better chance to continue running the ball and see if they could convert that. They run the power away from the tight end side that time, and Alberta wraps it up nicely.
So BC pretty much a first down away from ending this game. Instead, Alberta gets the ball back. Decent field position, 47 seconds left on the clock, down 6. So
yes.
A touchdown with the extra point wins the game for Alberta.
They're going to have to go to the air here. They need 6. They can't settle for 3, so they need some chunks here.
Flag on the play. He scrambles out of the pocket, looks across the middle, incomplete pass, but there is a flag down.
That's a tough throw across his body. What you would like to see the receiver do there is settle down. As a receiver, when you're in scramble drill, you don't want to be running in the opposite direction from your quarterback. So if your quarterback's rolling right, you don't want to be running back to the left. You would like to see 82 settle down there, give his quarterback a little bit easier of a throw. Now, it looks like Alberta was thrown for offside here. Oh, no, sorry, it was BC. some reason I thought I saw him signal second down. So it was BC, lined up offside again. Achilles heel for BC here tonight.
Now play knocking 6 seconds off the clock, so 41 seconds left. Here's the snap. Dropping back. He's going to try and run it out. Try to get to the outside and gets out of bounds.
So good job by Lebrecht, not only making something out of nothing there, escaping up vertically out of the pocket, but then having the presence of mind to break towards the sideline, work to get out of bounds there. Really good job by the young quarterback from Grand Prairie. Heard the Alberta coaches say chair over here. I wouldn't be surprised to see, often that's a code for a sit-down route. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody in the Alberta receiving corps stop below the safeties and just sit in a soft spot.
Oh, here's the play. Drops back, and BC sacks him.
And it's Malcolm Fraser again. You know, we hadn't seen him on the field much here in the second half. I was wondering where he was, but they put him back out here for this key possession. He's the guy that bulldogs into the backfield.
Just muscles through. So, huge play right here. Clock moving, 25-24. Snaps away. Fake throw right. Looks deep down the field. It is picked off.
As long as he got his feet in bounds, that's a catch. And it
is.
Sawyer Tether again. Sorry, wrong number. Number 86, Luca Ponte.
The North Vancouver native making the catch deep downfield. And that
should do it.
Seals it.
Second interception of the game for Ponte, playing one of the safety spots for BC there, and that was just Alberta needing it all after that huge sack. You know, Malcolm Fraser, what can you say about this guy? I can't wait to see where he ends up at the next level. Really fantastic player there. Just straight bull rush type of guy, and he just overpowers players, and I've seen him overpower some really good ones.
So, big defensive stop by BC. That should just about settle it. 16 on the clock. As BC is looking to walk away with a win here tonight at McLeod Park in Langley.
Full credit to the BC squad here. They got the stop when they needed it. I really like that kid Lebrecht playing quarterback for Alberta too. You know, he faced a lot of heat today, had to get some balls off under some serious duress, including that last one. I didn't think he was going to be able to get that throw off. Really impressed by that as well. But BC manages to hold on.
Yep, I liked his play. I liked the other quarterback, number 5, St. McKenzie too. I liked his scrambling. But it is BC that walks away with the win, 20-14 here at McLeod Park in Langley. A very impressive effort. And that is the final. BC winning the Under-18 Showcase. Overall, a pretty impressive game. Second quarter definitely was the one that provided all the highlights for the most part. First and third quarters, it felt like they were kind of trying to feel each other out. And then late in the game, there was plenty of chances for either team to put this game away, but ultimately, BC prevailed.
Absolutely. Lots of flashes of talent. You know, you saw, big name players make big plays here. You know, Malcolm Fraser, a guy I was expecting to see pop a bit today, absolutely popped. You know, you got both quarterbacks for the BC squad making some throws, both quarterbacks for the Alberta squad making some throws. I do wonder how different this game looks if Duncan Critch is able to finish the game, and that's nothing against Berger, the kid that came in for him, but Critch seemed to really have some juice for that Alberta squad in the first half. It would have been interesting to see, had he been able to remain healthy, how different that second half potentially looks for that side. But really great job by the BC squad. And at the end of the day, like, the unsung hero for me, I think, is Reggie Eli on offense. When they needed tough yards, it felt like Eli was the guy to give it to him, and his overall stat line is not going to jump out off the page because I think he probably had about 60 yards, maybe more than that, called back in penalties tonight.
Yep.
But when they needed big plays, big chunks on offense, it seems like he made them.
Yeah, he was really impressive. And we aren't done here at McLeod Park because we're right back here tomorrow, Gord. We have a couple more Team Alberta versus Team BC showdowns up first tomorrow at 10 a.m. The U16 game should be very exciting. Clear forecast for that one. Should be, again, -2. Cold by Lower Mainland standards, not cold by Grand Prairie standards. And then a 1 p.m. kickoff for the U17 and maybe some snow in the forecast. So that might add a little bit of a wrinkle to the entertainment.
Sure.
But thank you so much for joining me tonight, Gord. We'll be back again 10 a.m. tomorrow.
My pleasure.
Let's do it again.
Sure. 2 milk, no sugar in my coffee tomorrow morning. I'll see you here.
I'm a double-double.
Oh, child.
Signing off from McLeod Park, Adam Forsyth, Gord Randall. We'll see you tomorrow.